It's in now.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me. I thought one of y'all was gonna slip like a banana in there or something crazy. So.
Oh, slipping a banana in there, but we can't change it out. Them's the rules.
Oh man.
Banana.
Banana. Okay. Well, I'm good to go, man. I'm ready.
I am also good to go whenever you're ready. We're at
firing on all cylinders.
FEMA HQ here. I'm in the office.
You're in the call center.
We kick Sly out, so they're outside.
Keep me as far away from that building as you possibly can, please.
Sly, of course, is doing the Gen Z millennial thing of just like doing outside activities with their laptop, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're getting ready for the FEMA. So.
True, yeah. No, but the Wi-Fi is better outside anyway. It's pretty shitty in here. Karen's behind me, but on my back right over here, she's over. What the fuck are you looking at, Karen?
She just wants her TPS reports.
Fuck you, Karen! Get your own goddamn TPS reports.
I know.
Anyway,
I've been to Frank's house, and just him doing that makes me laugh. Knowing the layout of how his house is. But I mean,
would have been funny if your mom's name was Karen. That would have been really funny.
Start here banging on the wall.
It's like I didn't say anything.
Wasn't me.
The fuck's a TPS
we
report?
gotta get your family into the bit and have them come in sometimes and just do some bits with you. I think that would be so funny. All right. I'm ready to go. I'm firing.
I'm also ready to go.
Right. In the canon.
Oh, I'm on right now. I'm on 6 hours of sleep in 2 days.
Oh,
so it's gonna be a fun podcast.
All right. Well,
you got this. I believe in you.
There's only 4 of us today. Obviously, Feet can't be here.
No. I'm okay being on as long as possible. I just know it's gonna be some weird takes that I'm gonna have.
Change this episode of Chaos Hours.
I probably should have said this before we went live. But it's fine. I'll out myself here. I'm on the back end of a little bit of a manic period.
Okay.
So like I have no idea what the energy going into this episode's gonna be.
Oh no.
We'll see how it goes.
We got a manic energy. We have just really tired energy. I took a bang earlier. I'm probably gonna pop a bang inside this podcast when I leave in a second. Frank's got a knife. So
I feel like we just got TOS'd.
If we didn't get TOS during the Evil Dead stream, then I don't know what we will get TOS.
I don't think we had any, I guess all the blood and gore.
I mean, that's part of a game, though.
No, I'm talking about the picture we had for.
The picture of smoking a doobie.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think you get in trouble for smoking.
I don't think because I think that
actually fuck you. I'll
Summit.
Oh shit.
Summit like smoke. Did he just hit a bong on stream?
Yeah, but he's Summit, okay, and he also lost a monster sponsorship for that one.
Well, he didn't get TOS though.
He didn't get TOS though, and now he's with G Fuel, so it's fine.
Yeah,
also, Twitch, we're going to YouTube anyway.
Wow, we're gonna be on the 18th. You guys are streaming here.
We are.
Oh shit! Actually, Twitch, I take it back. This is nicotine. I swear.
Man, the pendulum is swung left and right. I'm including all this in the episode. Insert greeting here to the Point in Progress podcast, episode 58. Your favorite podcast, your favorite podcast, talking about Overwatch 2, Halloween Ends, and spreadsheets. Let's let the progress begin.
Spreadsheets.
I am your host this evening, Mario Rivera, and I am, of course, joined by all the lovely peeps over here at Point in Progress. Starting over here in the call center himself, wearing the Adidas hat, straight ripping. Frank Villagomez, how you doing?
I was actually resting my hand on my thing. I wasn't even ripping. What's up? How's it going? I was on the podcast last week because we're taking turns on taking some days off so we can all just kind of decompress now.
Did you enjoy the 3-hour epic we had with Fargo Brady? Okay, that sums it up. Okay, that sums it up.
Yes.
How you been?
I totally was not sleeping at that time. I've been pretty good. We've been working. Mario knows we both work together. Business has been booming. Business has been hard. Business has been chairless, but hey, it's been pretty good. Other than that, I've just been kind of playing video games. We'll talk about that later, but we've been playing video games. I've been watching some TV. It's good to be back on the podcast so I can talk about said things because one of them gives me depresso every time I see it.
All All right. Well, that's good. Hopefully you feel better after playing some depresso games. But outside the FEMA building, of course, we have the wonderful, the marvelous Sly Clone MC. How you doing, Sly?
That's a shameless plug for our other show on this network.
That was.
Incredible. I am doing great. I don't know how much of the intro you said you were including, so maybe you know where I'm coming from, maybe you don't. I hope you don't. We'll see how today goes.
Was that a Cotton Eye Joe reference, or was that just that was similar?
MC University reference.
Where did you come from? Where did you go?
Oh no, Cotton Eye Joe.
Not Cotton Eye Joe.
Jesus Christ. I just would like all of our lovely audience to know that before we even went live, there was like at least 3 or 4 iconic quotes that were said.
I know,
so
Harv,
we're having a good time today.
So far, Harv has made 2 iconic quotes outside of us actually recording. Because you gotta remember what he said before Evil Dead.
Oh, that's right.
What about the government?
No, about other stuff.
Speaking of the man that's popping off,
I was not there, so I don't know either.
Well, speaking of the man who's popping off, of course, that is my friend there, beard and the hair. Harv, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Oh my god, what the fuck was that?
He just hit puberty.
Quote number 3.
Guys.
Damn.
Oh wow. I'm doing good. I'm tired. 1 sec. I have to take this phone call. I'll be right back. I'm sorry, guys. I told you guys I was gonna.
It's not a podcast unless Harv is, of course, taking a phone call.
We lost Harv to a phone call.
Most likely talking to his parents.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, while we wait for Harv to do his phone call.
Oh yeah. While we wait for that, we can also jump straight into our housekeeping. We played Evil Dead last Wednesday, which was a lot of fun. Less technical difficulties than I thought we would. We actually ended up doing pretty fun games afterwards. But ultimately, yes, you'll be able to find that on our YouTube channel, hopefully this week, if depending on when we download it and upload it to YouTube. But it was a fun time. And with that, we're actually going to be doing another live stream on the 18th of October, where we're going to do some horror board games. Hopefully, we'll see what's coming up with that. I have to team up with, I think, Fee, who obviously is our like board game master, who knows like a lot of the games that we should play. I personally want to play a specific one, but hopefully we can play it.
Sure. We will also be having a very special guest. For
yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was just about to mention that. Yeah, because more than likely our Sherpa is going to be somebody who hasn't been on a PiP yet, I think. No. I'm pretty sure. Sure.
Before, what's touted as someone who listens to every episode, so definitely excited for that person. So that sounds great. Of course, we already talked about moving to YouTube. We have to wait 48 hours. Boo. But we will be going on Fridays. We're going to be doing it on our YouTube channel. But with that, I think it's actually time to move in our very first segment here. I know that Harv is not here, and I'm sure he's okay. He's tending to...
Oh, he said he was grabbing food.
Ah, that's right. Well, we'll see him in a moment. But starting with that...
Oh, yes, food's probably here.
Yes. We'll be doing the checkpoint. So starting with Frank, you got some things you've been playing. Since you weren't here last week, I'm going to give you the spotlight first. Frank, what have you been doing?
So I'm gonna wait and hold off on the Overwatch 2 stuff, just because I know Harv want to talk about it as well. You probably want to talk about it too. You've played it as well.
Yeah, I played a little
Mario,
bit of it.
So I'm sure you have an opinion or two about that.
Yeah.
But I do want to say I'm back on my Cyberpunk shit. I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk. I started again. This time I am a straight up just using SMGs. I've already done a run with just pistols, a run with a sword Sandevistan combo, which is ironic if you wind up watching Edge Runners, you know that Sandevistan is kind of like the biggest thing in that. So funny enough, I was already using the Sandevistan before the episode came out, so it's kind of cool watching how that kind of works in an anime format.
Yeah. But
we'll talk about that when we talk about what we'll be watching. But yeah, no, now I'm doing SMG run. Which is just pure SMGs, pure assault rifles. I'm mainly because I just kind of want to bull rush through the game as quick as possible. And once you level up SMGs and rifles and get your crit stats up, it's basically over. You're just beaming somebody in the head 40 times until they fall down. Why do I want to get in that? Because I want to beat the absolute living shit out of Adam Smasher. Adam Smasher, your days are numbered, okay? I'm coming for you, motherfucker, okay? I'm coming with you, the goddamn, basically an orbital beam cannon straight into your fucking balls, bro. I am absolutely annoyed with you. I hate you. All my homies hate you. You fucking smell like nickels with your shitty ass armor. It's boring. It's dull. Your face looks ugly. You look like a goddamn like shriveled up ball sack that's been around for almost 2 years. Yeah, anyway,
the last part threw me off.
Look, all right, Adam Smasher's days are numbered is what I'm saying, and we'll talk about, well, I mean, we can't really talk about why, but if you've watched Edge Runners, you know that Adam Smasher is a piece of shit, and I think everybody who's ever watched that anime wants to absolutely kill him. So I'm going back in there. I'm actually using some of the Edge Runner's weapons too.
Yeah, because there's an Edge Runner update, correct?
Yeah. So by the way, bravo on CD Projekt Red. I understand they had a very rocky start. We're not going to pretend that they didn't. They pulled some very bullshit moves, and I 100% agree they did. They're not going to be really much forgiven on my part for that until they actually, like, do some really kind of bigger things than just some small incremental updates. We'll see when what was the new expansion called?
Phantom Liberty.
Phantom Liberty. Yeah, we'll see what Phantom Liberty comes out. Phantom Liberty slaps, I might forgive your past transgressions, but if Phantom Liberty comes out buggy, broken, and as desolate as Cyberpunk 1.0 was, then we might have some words. But
that's some high expectations.
Yeah, I will give them credit though. 1.6 just putting out their updates that they have, just random clothing stuff. They've added a transmog system. They've changed the way the perk system works. They've added side quests, like, just newer things. They fixed a lot of what the problem with Cyberpunk. And as much as they say I don't forgive them for it, I do respect them for at least sticking with it, right? And one point, like the fact that they made an update with as much content as they did plus more for the launch of the anime was pretty goddamn cool, to the point where like you can get some of their clothes, you can get some of their guns, you can get side missions. There's characters from the anime who now like text you in the game. That's cool. Every game that has a anime, movie, or anything tie-in should have something like that in their game, because it will bring back players. And look, Cyberpunk is hitting like 30 million players now. Like, absolutely nuts. It has had a resurgence. This is the time for CD Projekt Red to prove that they're not a shitty company, and the whole release of Cyberpunk was just a fluke. Because otherwise, their past track records aren't that bad. Witcher 3 still, if I remember correctly, still launched kind of buggy, but
it wasn't as bad. Still well
yeah.
received overall, just because of the quality of the game in terms of story narrative. I think really sold it for people, and Cyberpunk has a lot of those too. And I do want to say, one of the people that is returned to the game is me. I started playing it on the Steam Deck, and it actually runs. It's fucking a miracle that it runs on the damn thing. I run it at 45 frames per second, and it gives enough of that like looseness where it does feel like it is 60, but it isn't, and it runs super smooth. The characters look amazing because it feels like I'm running it on like a full on PC. And
it's interesting too because you're not blowing up that image either. It's going to be on that like 1280 by 720p display, and funny you mentioned that, because a lot of games on that Steam Deck look really fucking good because they kind of shrunk down a little bit. You know what I mean? You're not seeing a lot of the artifacts or anything like that you would normally see on like a big monitor. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm actually happy you're replaying it again. How you're replaying it then? So what build are you going for this time?
I'm going Nomad because I never experienced that area, the entire desolate sort of like desert area. I've only done the introductory mission, which gives you the introductory cutscene of Jackie dancing. That's essentially where I stopped, just because I wanted to see what the difference was. Because when I first started, I was Corpo. I was Corpo. Into that introduction is more luxurious, more like sort of like in terms of like being the inner sides of like a corporation. This is more like you're a dust guy. You drive cars, and you're in like podunk towns, and you're just trying to like survive, and you're meeting up with Jackie, and he's not your friend like he is in the other character like you brought up. And so I'm playing that route now, and I'm curious to see how it is, because there's a whole section of the game that I've totally missed out on that really begins only when you start as a nomad. So
Yeah, that's the uniqueness of that too. Because I also started Nomad as well for this. And I mentioned it to you, like, oh, it's weird how nobody knows you now. Like everybody who knew you as a street kid has no idea who the fuck you are as a nomad, which is pretty cool. But I'm all the way at the Queen of the Highway stuff, which is like Pan Am stuff and everything like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they treat you a lot better. in the Aldecado stuff, they treat you a lot better as a nomad. But by build, I mean, like, what are you gonna go for? Are you gonna go pistols? Are you gonna do SMGs, rifles? Like, are you gonna go full hacking?
I haven't really determined that right now, but honestly, a lot of it probably is just going to stem because, let's talk. Well, we're going to talk about it now because it just makes sense to talk about. And Sly can also contribute to this because Sly has seen at least the first 3 episodes of the anime. I'm probably going to go with sort of that cyberpunk, like the Edge Runner build of like hacking things. Devastan would be like incredible because the way that the power is depicted in the show is so fun. I think it's a little different in the game, correct? Because
all you have to do for it is really you press E and time, it just slows down. That's the only thing. Mm-hmm. It's really good for melee builds, which is why I put it with my katana build. Because you just slow down, you cut somebody up, and then after the time stops, they just fall. Like kind of like how most animes you see somebody cut somebody and then they do that little like chink, and then like they fall down. That's basically the build I was trying to build. So Sandevistan with the melee weapons is really good. I haven't unlocked a Sandev because you have to have like really high street cred in the game to even get those. So I'm like level 35 street cred, so I'm not too far away to get it, but I don't know how it works with rifles. I haven't tried it with bullets yet, so we're gonna see that. But that sounds really cool. I'm happy for you. Yeah, because you can get like the wire that comes out of Lucy's arms.
I've seen that. I've seen that in clips, and so that is really cool. And speaking of that, talking a little bit about the Cyberpunk show, Frank, you finished it. I finished it. Sly, where are you at in the show? You just watched the 3 episodes because you got to see it at PAX, correct?
Yeah, I watched it. Oh, am I frozen?
You're good now. You're good.
You're good. Yeah.
Okay.
I see you.
I watched it at PAX. I watched the first 2 episodes, I believe.
Okay.
It's in my queue. I really want to get to it. I haven't yet, but what I saw, I really enjoyed.
Yes.
Yeah. Because like that, it's really good.
I'm waiting for a time where I can just sit down and binge through all of it.
That's what I did,
which has not come up yet.
Yeah.
That's what Kojima did. I wanted to watch it in 2 nights. Because like it was like late when I finally decided to watch it, so I wanted watching half of it one night and half in the morning. But holy shit, man! Studio Trigger. I really liked Kill la Kill when I first saw it and their animation style with Kill la Kill. I really liked what they did with Star Wars, their story in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Trigger has never been like the one studio where I'm like, God damn, I really need to go watch this anime just because Studio Trigger made it. You know what I mean? I don't think I really have an anime studio where I really go do that with. I'm not like, if he's more of the anime person, I always dip in, you know what I mean? Whenever I see something interesting that I know I'm really going to like, I go in there because, to be honest, anime is one of those things where like I really have to pay attention to it. But 9 times out of 10, the most of the like video media I consume is when I'm playing a game or doing something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with anime, because there's subtitles and I'm a fucking purist, I like to I'm sub over dub. Depending on the dub though, because I watched Edge Runners dubbed. All right, I broke my own rule. Holy fuck, the dub is really good.
It's really good.
But yeah, it's one of those things where you got to pay attention, right? So the reason I even watched Edge Runners in such a big, like, long way is because the dub is fucking amazing. The dub, I would argue, is on level with how we feel about the dub about Cowboy Bebop. No. I don't even know there's another language anymore. I don't even care this was dubbed in Japanese.
No, it feels so natural to the story as well as like all the people. Like I can't imagine David or else or anything like that. Like, oh my god, I forgot Becca's character. Like, Becca. I can't imagine any other voice connected to that character now. And same thing goes with even like some of the other characters. Like Giancarlo Esposito plays a character,
Giancarlo Esposito,
and he's fantastic, as well as Matthew Mercer, which Matthew Mercer, like I think I said this last week because I brought up Cyberpunk a little bit. He plays the Western-y type very, very well. And so this is very much like his characters that he's used to.
Yeah, and even returning characters who are already pre-existing in the game that are showing up in the anime, they sound exactly how they do in the game. and it's actually pretty good. To the like, and I actually put this on Twitter when I was watching it when it came out. I really commend them for using stuff like actual locations within the game that you as a player coming back to can actually go to and find places like Rebecca's apartment, Lucy's apartment, stuff. I don't know about the Lucy's apartment thing. I'm pretty sure the one I saw was a mod. But even just like scenic little locations within the thing, they do like these wide pan shots of just like a street, for example, and like a building, and you can actually go in the game and find that area. I thought that was pretty fucking cool. Even then, going as far as to even use in-game sounds for like the street traffic, guns, the way people are calling each other and everything like that. The Ubers, yeah, like the Delamain stuff. It immerses you in that world that if you've played that game, you're already immersed in, and if not, then you don't lose anything because
absolutely. As somebody who hasn't even touched the game, I haven't really seen very much gameplay of it at all, right? I was still in it. I could feel that this was grounded so heavily in the game just because of how rich it felt to just be plopped into it.
Go ahead.
I like that. It doesn't leave anybody out in that way, and it works for both people who haven't played it, and it works for people who have played it.
Yeah, there's a moment in the game, and it's actually paralleled a few times in it. There's actually a big story moment with it, of a character falling. That's all I'll say. But it's such an interesting, like, engaging moment of setting the world in a place. And I feel like the show does such a great job to establish it that if you do decide to play the game, there's a connective tissue between the two projects that is, I think, far succeeding most projects that we see. Obviously, we've talked about it many times. A lot of the shows that I like that no one likes. But ultimately, this is probably, next to Arcane, as I described it, one of the best connecting tissues of a property that I feel like both exist along with it, and I think that's beautiful. So yeah, I really love Cyberpunk, and Frank bought it. Really said hey, watch this, and I did the due diligence, and I did so. Sly got me kind of hyped when they were talking about it during their PAX preview, and so yeah, as someone who's the least anime person, even though I do love My Hero Academia, I actually finished that entirely up to this point now, which is really cool. But very much got Chun.
I plan on watching it this weekend.
Please.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it too.
Take a look.
Maybe we'll have a revisit next week.
Yeah,
maybe we'll do something PiP related with it. You know what I mean? Because obviously, once we all can talk about stuff like that, like there are definitely scenes I want to talk about, especially like stuff like that mirrors like stuff I like tarot and everything like that. The stuff that's in Cyberpunk, the game. Yeah. But I can't talk about because it would lead into spoiler territory, and I feel like a lot of people still are watching or going to watch Cyberpunk Edgerunners, because at this point, when an anime lifts a game up by 30 million players in like a month and a half, something must be really good within it, right?
Yeah. Arcane did not make me want to play WoW, but it did make me play.
No.
It made me play the card game. It made me play the card game.
League.
You mean League, right? Not Whatever
the fuck. Yeah.
Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
Nothing's ever
going to make me play League again.
Establish enough which game it was that Mario got confused.
That's so true, right? Because like watching Arcane, I was watching it and then I was just like, I don't know what, like, even if I didn't know, like, it didn't tell you what game this is from or where this world is. It's just the world itself was a great world building style. It was just good characters. And like, I don't really want to play any material, like any game that's connected to this. Like, I really don't want to. Mm-hmm. One, because I know how toxic the fan base is.
Fuck League of Legends.
I had a friend who's not a gamer who watched Arcane, and watching like her talk about that show was so interesting. Like knowing the game connection and the community that surrounds that. It's so interesting to see the different perspectives on Arcane.
I see Chun 2D2 in the chat says, "Got to get back and finish Edgerunners." Yes, you do. Please. It's really good, especially after you get past the halfway point. It's really good.
I'll say this: if we all watch it, I think we should do a PiP chat on it, because it'll be fascinating to get deeper.
Yeah, we did one on Cyberpunk 2077, so we might as well do it on.
We did do that
on Edgerunners.
I'm down. I'm watching it on Sunday.
Yeah, we got to convince Fee to do it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be.
I'm surprised Fee hasn't seen it. Studio Trigger. I feel like Fee likes Studio Trigger, so I don't know how she feels about Kill la Kill though. Not a lot of people like Kill la Kill because it's very fan servicey, but I like the action in it.
That's fine. But along with some other things that you love, Frank, I represented for you last week. Actually, I talked about this game. I was talking about boomer shooters.
Some boomer shooters.
I did. I've been playing Metal Hellsinger, and I played Proteus, which you are now going to talk about. So, what is your experience with Proteus?
I'm not very far into it. I'm still within the first act. It is so far I'm liking it a lot. Yeah. It's mixing a lot of, how do I explain this? It's mixing a lot of like old school Doom, but with new school Doom.
Okay.
If I could, like, the speed of new school Doom, and the speed and the viciousness of like killing things, but like still grounding you in that old, not 8-bit style of like boomer shooter, because it's not 8-bit. It's definitely a bit crushed a little bit. Like everything's very pixelated and stuff like that, but like it feels fluid. Everything moves with like such ease. You know what I mean? Like there's no kind of choppiness to it, which is interesting.
I think what I said last week was it was like if Doom, the original Doom, basically mixed with Doom 64. Like in a weird way.
That's pretty close. That's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still say it's a little closer to 2016 in the way, because just the speed of it, right? Like how fast you can just bowl through everything.
Yeah.
That's something you really couldn't do with old school Doom without having to circle strafe in some kind of way. Especially with the enemies, because they were kind of bullet spongy. Here you can really kind of, if you're close with a shotgun, more than likely you're getting a one-hit kill. If you're farther away, you might have to hit them 2 or 3 more times. Mm-hmm. But so far I'm having a lot of fun with it. I've gotten through the first 4 levels of it. I want to say 4, maybe 3. Mainly just because every now and again I'm just like, okay, I like this. I'm going to go back to Cyberpunk for a little bit and continue that. But I'm liking it so far. I want to try it on the deck. I don't know if I'll like it as much on the deck.
How are you playing this game, if you don't mind me asking?
PC, just straight up PC through Game Pass.
With Game Pass, okay.
Yeah, so mouse, keyboard. That's how I like to play most of my shooters, just because I'm a purist. I like my mouse and keyboard. It's very hard for me to go back to twin sticks with shooters. It's not fun. But I do want to eventually get used to the Steam Deck's like little graham cracker touch controls.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Leave my boy alone. I don't know what you're talking about.
Little graham cracker touch controls. Because I feel like that would kind of help out. I've been playing Project Warlock on that with the little touch pads. So that's actually helped out a lot with some of the aiming. But we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm liking Proteus. I think it's a game that I'm definitely going to finish sometime soon. And yeah, it's good. Also, the music. Good job on that. Good job on the music. Games like that, you can't put a nice somber soundtrack onto. It has to be hardcore metal, and it has to kick you in the face. And its soundtrack kicks you in the face.
What if though, like you just do it as like raindrops keep falling on my head?
No.
Or blasting away zombies.
Nobody escapes the slaughterhouse. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've really been playing this week. Oh, and Overwatch 2.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and just jump straight into our theme today, where a lot of us has touched over and played Overwatch 2 if we had a chance, because it had some launch issues. But luckily, it does seem like a few of us do. Harv, since you were away for a second, I'm going to have you kick it off, since this is the main game that you've been playing this week. And while you do that, I'm going to go grab a bang really quick. I'm sorry. I'm really thirsty.
See, this is why I bring the drinks to me.
Yeah, sorry. I had to go get my food, and one of the elevators is down.
You had to run upstairs.
So I had to go downstairs, grab it, and then I like Overwatch 2. I think it's a breath of fresh air with the 5v5. Mm-hmm. I like I like the different changes they did to like tanks and stuff like that. I like less CC, which is really, really nice. Does it need an Overwatch 2? No. This could have just been Overwatch 1.3. Just like a patch. They could have just done a patch for this, and it would have been fine. But I said, I quit. I said this last time as well. I quit this to like Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. This is exactly what this feels
Actually,
like.
I didn't even think about it that way, and you were 100% fucking correct, because it is basically the transition from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2.
It's the same game. It's like they've added some new maps. They've taken out an entire game mode, or they added another game mode in. So like it's just. We didn't lose anything. We didn't gain anything out of this.
But you know what, Harv?
We gained some people, yeah.
But you know what, Harv? At least Destiny 2 launched with a single player
yes.
at day one. Fuck you, Blizzard.
Yeah, so this is where the main crux of it is, right? This game is also free to play, right? So it's got the battle pass method thing. So like you don't have to pay for this game anymore. They have a battle pass that you can subscribe into. But yeah, it's a single player. I think is what everybody's waiting for because again, this game is just everything feels the same.
Yeah, if you liked Overwatch, you'll like Overwatch too.
The funniest thing is like even when you go into the Battle.net client, it's still Overwatch 1.
Yeah,
it's not. They didn't even say
Overwatch 2.
The icon of Overwatch 2. They're still Overwatch 1, and it's supposed to be full release. This isn't even supposed to be beta. This is supposed to be like full release. So
no.
I like it though because I like the changes that they did. I like the quality of life. A couple of quality of life stuff that they did. I really I'm enjoying it. I think it's a very very good video game. Yeah. And I think I'm going to be playing it for the next little while at least until everybody else falls off of it. But I've tried my way into competitive in this season as well, just with some people and just doing it myself as well. It's very difficult because I really don't know the game very much compared to like a lot of the competitive players out there. But yeah, I really didn't think this game needed a 2, but you know, we're here for sequels. Apparently, we're just here for sequels. We'll just slap 2 on everything.
I don't know if you guys brought this up already, but what are some of your changes that you do like to some of the characters that have been made? I mean, like for my small amount of playtime with it, when I did one of those matches where it was like random heroes. And I got to be Bastion, and Bastion played very differently because he's
Bastion is completely reworked. Yeah, and now he's out of the game because there was a bug.
Oh, great!
So Bastion,
there was a bug where like
catch your fucking break, dude.
There was a bug you used as ult, right? The one with artillery that he uses.
Yeah.
There was a bug where you could use unlimited artillery for 10 seconds.
Yes, I seen a video of that. You can just destroy a fucking player.
Normally, it's only 3, right? That's all you can place is 3 of them.
Somebody was putting like 20 on the map.
Yeah, 20 on the map. So they took him out of the game until they fixed that bug. But yeah, I like the changes to Cassidy. I think that they took his stun grenade out and gave him a sticky grenade, which is awesome. I still have a couple of gripes with it, but like it's really really cool. Sojourn is an amazing character. I love her shooting and then like her normal shooting and then hit scan for her right click, which is great because it's a nice little satisfying combo. The tank changes are good too. Like Orisa is a little crazy right now, I feel, because she just won't fucking die.
Dude, I have a fucking clip of me as Reaper just laying it in, like reloading multiple times, and I'm just like, just fucking die already! Jesus Christ! She has so much health.
You know, it's like one of those things where like you're just like, I don't want to hurt, I don't want to hurt an animal or anything, but the animal just won't die. You're like, you want to fuck this animal? It's fuck this animal at this point.
Take it out back. Tell it to look at the flowers.
The biggest because they took a lot of CC, which is crowd control, out of the game, right? They took a lot of stuns out. They took a lot of that kind of things out of the game. The problem now, I think, is the Genji problem, where he just runs around willy nilly now at this point, and I feel like countering him is a little bit tougher.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on that too, because I played a game with a Genji. He was kind of he was kind of a ball ache.
Yeah, it's just like he's just running around and just flying around and shit like that. So I like the new heal. The new healer is awesome, by the way. Kariko, very very awesome.
By the way, her fucking intro in the title screen.
Dude, no,
I'm talking about her title screen.
Have you watched her short?
I've seen her short, but I'm talking about the title screen.
Yeah.
I hope every new fucking character gets a baller ass title screen like that, because is so. Rainbow Six Siege started doing that recently, like 2 or 3 operators ago, and I loved it. But they don't have music. They just kind of have like the animated kind of like spotlight kind of look. What Blizzard's doing with this one, I'm like, fuck yeah, Blizzard, this is actually kind of cool. Like, keep doing this with heroes. That, like, imagine if every hero had that cool like musical intro.
It would be cool if you could it would be cool if you could go into the menu and just be like, when you start the game, just randomly put one up of like one of the heroes, and they just made one for each one.
Oh yeah, like going back and making new ones for like the other ones.
Yeah, her short is fucking amazing. It is so good. It's so well done.
Blizzard, I'm surprised at this point. I'm surprised nobody is like contracted and just make a fucking movie or something, dude. At this point, come on. Like with all the hard, like Marvel saying like, oh, we can't find any animators because stuff like that. Like they're all busy. I'm like,
because they won't
look at
pay
these
them
guys.
enough.
Look at these guys making fucking Pixar-esque shorts on their own in their own internal studios.
But yeah, no, it's good. I've enjoyed it so far. I'm gonna be playing more competitive. I'm gonna be playing more of the game. I really enjoy. How are you enjoying it so far, Mario?
Like you were saying just a second ago, it's very much just Overwatch for the most part, and loading back into it felt very similar. It was those nice little experiences of noticing a little bit changes, especially when I played as Bastion and I could just summon the tank willy nilly as opposed to being in the ultimate, which was kind of cool. But overall, yeah, it's Overwatch. It's like they basically just update the graphics. It does look great on console. That's where I play primarily on Xbox, and so
it looks really good on PC as well.
Yeah, so to see those nice little like uplifts in terms of quality of graphics is really cool. But ultimately, yeah, it's the same maps. Pretty much the base things. It's not until they open up with, of course, the campaign with the PvE stuff that I'll probably put more official time with it, unless someone asks me. I have it downloaded currently on my Xbox. So, but I think that's pretty much gonna be it.
Do we want to run one after this podcast?
Definitely. I'll think about it.
Okay,
I'll think about it. But yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'm definitely waiting for that single player thing, because like I if it got delayed to next year, right? To 2023.
Like all good.
Did they announce that this is going to be like a full like campaign release, or is this going to be like episodic?
Like, we don't know. Nobody knows what this thing is supposed to be. Like this could be something like that, just
Mystery.
a piece. Yeah, which kind of scares me a little bit, because it's paid. You have to pay for this PvE stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So like, is it just gonna be like one of those things where you just play
It's
like
like
how it was? Like not even an event. Not even an event. Like you just go through like 4 waves of enemies and you're like done, and they just give you like little fucking little morsels.
That's what I mean. Like
of
that's
story.
what the events are. You PvE through some fucking waves of enemies. You get to the end, bam, you're done. You leave and
or is this gonna be a full-fledged like fucking Avenger style? Fucking the Overwatch team is going out and doing this shit. I doubt it. I
want a Mass Effect level of interactivity. I want RPG elements.
Oh yeah.
No, if anything, make it like how the Mortal Kombat games do their story, where you play as a hero, you adventure a part of their story, and there's some other characters that are around, obviously. And then you get to learn their mechanics, you get to learn who they are as characters, and then you move on to the next chapter, which is another hero. So that way you can slowly do this. That way, when you play the PvP, you know who your favorites are, and you know who the people that you're not very necessarily great as. And I think that is the only route that you could possibly go with the sort of like expansive campaign mode. Now, will it be iterations and installments? I think they could do that, but if it's something that I pay for and it's a hefty price, like it has to be, I think, substantial.
I don't expect it to be full price. I expect this to be $30. I would say $40. They have so many damn heroes though, so they got to pick and choose which ones they're gonna do, right?
Right? Like, is this gonna be the Avengers problem, where we can't really stay on one character for too long and have to like keep moving to character? It's tough, right? I mean, that's the obvious reason why this is getting delayed. Because
the only thing that I could think that they could do with this is like, these are the healer things, this is the tank things, this is the DPS things.
Sure.
And then they just make campaigns with that, and they're not like actual character campaigns. Like it's not a Mercy campaign. It's like
since Mario already gave his idea what this is, I got a feeling it's just going to be fucking Marvel Ultimate Alliance with some PvE added to it. Well, I mean, Marvel Ultimate Alliance is PvE added to it, but you know what I mean, like the Overwatch style of PvE, right? You pick 4 heroes, you pick a healer, you pick a tank, you pick a DPS and a DPS, and you can switch between those heroes as you want to.
Yeah, we'll see. I know that some information is out there when they first announced it, but until we get more, maybe we'll be continuing to play this Overwatch if it runs. I think, is the queues better now? Because I have not played.
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there are no queues when you log in. There's no queues anymore.
Good,
so.
because it was.
I've never ran into a queue, and I've been playing for the last 4 days.
Here's the fun issue that I ran into, which was it says it's like free to play, like ready to go, like on Xbox. You click on it, it downloads the trial that came out a few weeks ago, and doesn't download the game, which you can't click on Xbox.
So helpful.
So helpful. I posted a tweet about that, and luckily someone very helpful in the tweet was like, no, you actually got to go to xbox.com, click the game.
Why
do you do all that?
PlayStation does the same shit too. Like with Wolong.
Yeah, I know.
To download the fucking demo, you have to go through like 7 menus, and it's like, would you like to download the demo? It's like,
no, at this point, fuck you. Yeah, I'm done.
For spite, I was like, fuck this shit. But like,
yeah,
put it front and center. Demo. Download
I honestly
it
think it was just because it was broken, and that's why it didn't work. Because you would click on the actual Overwatch 2 thing, and it wouldn't do anything. So I wonder if it just wasn't live right away. I wonder if it works now. But yeah, that was a bummer. And then people were like, switch over to the PS5, but like, I haven't charged that controller in forever, and I didn't want to deal with it. So that's because that controller fucking sucks.
Man, plugging in controllers, man. Fuck.
PS5,
the Xbox or the PS5
controllers.
Oh yeah, the PS
fucking suck in terms of.
Can we talk about that? We talked about it publicly. We fucking hate the PS5 controllers. They're too goddamn big. Where's mine?
They're really big.
I love the PS5 controller. I hate the haptic feedback shit. I turn that shit off right away.
I really liked the haptic. Especially
I
for
can't
the
there are certain things that I like it with, but overall, it's just the way that it kills the battery has been my major issue. It's like I can never rely on that thing to have you charged whatsoever.
See, it would be nice if I actually use my PS5, so like that would be kind of cool. But I don't use my PS5; it's been sitting there.
You waited long enough for fucking Spider-Man to come out on PC, so you're good.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for The Last of Us Part 1 if I'm going to play it again on PC.
It's gonna come out on PC.
And then when I play Returnal, I'm going to play that on PC.
I'm going to also play Returnal. I've been holding out of Returnal too. Is Ghost of Tsushima finally coming to PC?
No date on that.
Not
There's
announced,
no date on
but
that.
it will be. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's
by the time they announce
play?
the second one, it'll be announced for the.
Does that fly?
I would be playing my PS5 if I had a TV in my current housing situation.
Amazon Prime had deals. No, I'm just kidding.
Why don't you plug it in?
I don't have a place to set up.
Does your Mac? You're on an iMac, innit?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have any external video ins. I know the newer ones don't. That's what I'm asking. I'm like, I know the newer ones don't, but I don't know about the older one.
Get an adapter for it.
Yeah, because it's gotta have.
On hand.
It's gotta have.
You're asking a lot.
A display
for a
port
MacBook,
in.
Okay, you're asking for a lot. For Mac, right?
Yeah.
It's a desktop. It's not a laptop.
That's what I said. An iMac.
Yeah,
so
desktop will usually have one on the back.
Yeah, it's got to have at least
Apple
one display port on it.
Apple doesn't want you to plug in your dirty HDMI's and changing things.
Now they don't. They don't.
Yeah,
they used
filthy.
Yeah, I would have to get a HDMI adapter
to like a display
I probably
port.
could.
Yeah, it's the old iMacs or like not like the new ones, but like anything from like 3 or 4 years ago.
Could you use an iMac as a television? Could you do that?
Display at least. What happened?
Interesting. All right.
Yeah.
What did you do? Television?
iMac as a television.
Yeah, you totally can. Yeah.
Wild. Okay. Well, that of course. On that note, that is the end of Overwatch, literally and figuratively.
Overwatch is killed.
Overwatch is dead. You know what killed Overwatch? Overwatch.
Yep.
Before
you really do be your own. It's that one photo of the astronaut on the other one. Is like, did we need an Overwatch? It was always Overwatch. It just pops up in the back of the head.
But yeah, Overwatch, screw it, it's dead. We're talking about the future, and that, of course, is the Steam Deck. I'm going to talk
future
about...
is now. Mine's in another room, so I'm not going to hold mine for prop.
I have now had a week with the Steam Deck, and I'm reporting to say that, yes, everything is still positive from before. There are some minor things that I think that I would love for some improvements, but overall, I got to really try it fully with this little guy here, which, of course... This is what I use to plug it into my television and also my computer, so that way I can download stuff to it, just to download stuff to it, but also be able to use it for an HDMI port out so I can plug it on a television. And one of the few things that I got to try on it was first of all, Cyberpunk ran on it and on the television, and it looked poopy, but you know what? That's fine. It looks better on the actual Steam Deck itself. The game that surprised me that worked beautifully, and I actually was able to then Bluetooth a Xbox controller, Multiverses. Multiverses runs awesome on this thing, docked and undocked. And that was actually a fun surprise because that is
the fact that you can Bluetooth a controller is it's amazing.
Any controller.
That's so good. Yeah.
Who would have thought players would like to Bluetooth controllers into their also handheld TV?
Yeah. which is a future I never thought I'd fucking actually believe in. Other than obviously the Switch, which made sense because it was sort of like a built-in thing. But yeah, the fact that I can have choices, I could try my DualShock or DualSense controller. I can try my Xbox, I've seen videos of people using Xbox 360 controllers because people still use those for some reason. And
good luck. Wait, how do you even get that into the Steam Deck?
Fuck if I know.
Those don't have Bluetooth, so they have to be using like that old school adapter. What the hell?
Something. I've seen videos of it. It's pretty crazy. What? And the other video that I shared actually this week actually was they have a thing that someone built already where you can just plug it into the Steam Deck and then it reads Game Boy Advance cards.
Yes.
Which is magnifique. Like,
yeah, because it's you can buy those for like the regular PC, so that's how you would like if you didn't want to go the emulation route, if you want to use your original stuff.
Yes.
But wanted to play on PC, that's how you do it. That's fucking awesome though. I think that's the fact that it's compatible that easily is really fucking cool.
Yeah, because I simply will just have this next to my TV.
Yeah. The Matrix.
Well, you're absolutely fading.
Sly is fucking fading away. FEMA, actually, you were fired from FEMA, so this is how they get rid of you. You just fucking fade away.
You didn't know that you were an AI the entire time.
Actually, they just make you disappear.
Sly, you did that. You snapped back into place. That was cool.
Love that for me.
That was awesome. But yeah, I just want to say everything is wonderful with the Steam Deck. When I think of gaming, I don't think of my consoles now. I don't think of this PC. I want to try it first on here. So whenever any opportunities come for any companies that would like to send us codes, I would like to try your game on Steam Deck because this is the dream console. As far as I'm concerned. And my only major complaint is that it's fucking heavy as shit when you hold it in your hand for a little too long. It's a big chunky boy. It reminds me of memories, and I think I mentioned this last.
Get those reps in.
I definitely got to get those reps in for sure. It reminds me back in the day when I used to lug around the Game Gear, and I would have to put like 8 AA batteries in this fucker. That's how heavy it is, but I can play Cyberpunk on it.
Actually, here, well, on that note, I'm going to turn off my camera really quick. I'm going to go grab a Steam Deck and a Game Gear.
Thank you. Please do. Please go do that.
I want to grab one at some point this year, at the end of this year, maybe during Christmas time. Grab one.
Yeah, one of the things that I would like to try in this is because I share a library with Frank. He has some of the Dark Souls games. I wouldn't mind trying that on the Steam Deck for sure. So. Gonna give that a try, but the fact that I can go from playing handheld and plug it into my TV and it's a seamless experience. That's the biggest thing. So, very happy about that. I was wondering if Sly, you had a question or something.
No, I was just saying I don't know why my shoulders keep disappearing.
I feel like you're doing it too. You do this and they like rub away. That's like, oh.
Oh, okay. Now I'm noticing what's happening. Okay, FEMA is slowly taking you away.
Yeah, slowly de-assimilating you.
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah,
I'm slowly fading into the background of FEMA.
Yeah. FEMA's doing their thing.
The one game though that I've been playing the most of my time with the Steam Deck is actually a game that I've been wanting to play for a while. It's been oh, did you find it, Frank? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, so here's the Game Gear.
Yeah, and then here's the Steam Deck.
You're not far off, actually. And then I got the 2 fucking big chunky batteries at the back. What was in the last?
Yeah.
This was in the Game Gear. This is a good old Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog, and here's a side-by-side comparison of a Game Gear and a Steam Deck. How do you like the case, by the way?
The case is fucking incredible. It's
so crazy that it comes with it.
It comes with it. Yeah, I actually have that right here on my desk. And what I actually told Frank is that at our job, they actually sell really great. Look at that. Look at that.
Let me move my microphone real quick.
Nearly double the size of the damn thing, which is pretty crazy to think about. But yeah,
so it's about as good as it's gonna get. It's really hard to do on my camera right now because of the background shit. But like, that's there. I'm holding them next to each other. This is a chunky boy, but this is a
chunky boy. That is chungus for 100%.
We love a good chunk.
Yeah, this is of course the case. It's really heavy duty, it's hard shelled, and I feel like I could throw it across the room and the thing would be fine. What I found interesting is that this is a apartment that you can actually put your battery pack in. And
You didn't know? Yeah, it's really good for that.
Yes. So I grabbed a 45-watt charger from our job, and it fucking fits in there, and it's awesome. So definitely worth the price additional with the $500 version. So very happy that I got that.
I have to 3D print you something. I've been meaning to do it for my Steam Deck. There's a little 3D printed thing you can add. It's literally like in the hole there you were talking about. There's a you can buy a little 3D printed thing that basically takes the original adapter, puts it in that little like case, and then with the wires and everything like that, so they're not just like jangling around in here. And then it fits exactly into that hole, like perfectly.
Very cool. Very cool. But yeah, no, that's my time with the Steam Deck. But the game that I've been playing the most on it, on sort of the giant library that both me and Frank share, is a game called Wargroove, which I've heard a lot about. I've heard a lot of people talk about it over the years. It's been one of those like, sort of like the mix of tactics meets like Fire Emblem and a little bit of this Advance Wars is what people sort of describe it as. And it's awesome. It's got a story to it. It's essentially the story of this female character that father is murdered, and you're basically now in charge of everything, and you have to basically run this kingdom. And through that, people are constantly challenging your existence. And with that, you are taking on these battles on this open field that have different challenges that require you to obviously wipe up the board. And I love me a Fire Emblem. The last time I played a massive amount of time in one was, of course, the Three Houses, Fire Emblem Three Houses. I'm a massive tactics fan, and I get to play a little bit of that in this game too. And the fact that it has a story in it as well, I think is just quite refreshing. So the best way to describe it is it's super colorful. It's top down in terms of like different plots on the field. There are different character types or army people that you can pick from and basically spawn that has different abilities that can move around the board. It feels very much how when I play Dungeons and Dragons with my friends, it's definitely fun to have just placement on the field. And if you're into those kind of games, this is actually super, super awesome. It's actually on sale all the time. I believe I got this as part of one of the Humble Bundle codes or something like that. Definitely recommend it if you are into that kind of game. I believe it's already available on the Switch, but the fact that I get to just plug it from my Steam Deck to my TV and just sit on the couch and play it is also a blast. So those are all the games.
When are we gonna make a PiP D&D campaign? I think that would be a blast.
We've been trying to figure out how to make it. We'd have to pay a DM though.
We'd have to pay a DM
if we want to actually like.
Yeah.
If we want to have like, I feel like every time I've ever talked to anybody about D&D, they've always said that like, look, you can have like a really fun time doing it for free, but it elevates your experience when you have a really good DM, and really good DMs cost money.
For my experience of playing Dungeons and Dragons, you really kind of have to come in with an actually interesting story, and you actually have to develop it and sort of make your own. You can't just sort of half-ass it, even though a lot of the game is, of course, improvisation and doing your own story. There are things that someone who is dedicated to creating scenarios and able to work on the fly is really good. So we had someone like that. If if there's someone in our audience that is very passionate and also knows a lot about the show, I think that would be fun to actually have someone weave a story of all of the different things that go on with us, like Harv being attacked by bears or FEMA and snakes. Like I think that would be actually something quite fun if someone could actually help us build that story. So, but yeah, I would absolutely love to do it. I think we just have to find the right pace for it too. Which I've been watching this, another tangent. I've been wanting to get into Critical Role. I've been wanting to get into some of these tabletop RPG sort of like different things.
I'm so picky.
Yeah.
About, and I'm like, I understand the big ones are big because they're, really well done and well produced, but I'm so incredibly picky about like my tabletop RPG content that I consume. Yeah. I can't get into most of it.
Yeah, I kind of got the bug for it earlier on when I actually worked on a video for a tabletop RPG show that was coming back called Kolok, because it was pretty much Fallout meets Twin Peaks. And I thought that was like possibly the coolest fucking thing. And so I might want to go back and watch that show specifically. But yeah, Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop RPGs. One day there will be a PiP campaign that will be pretty amazing. That I think I'm
hell yeah, where PiP fights FEMA.
That if FEMA was the ultimate
the big
enemy,
baddest FEMA.
There's like a FEMA overlord.
FEMA is the overlord.
This is the video.
FEMA's sending their armies after us.
This is the video we submit to the DM. Like, please write a story like this. Just please come up with something. I would absolutely adore that. But that, of course, is
Frank is contractually obligated to kill a man every session.
The episode ends every time him stabbing a man.
Ends like a episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
That, of course, is what we've been playing. We're going to go ahead and move on to what we've been watching. There's not a lot here, but I'm going to go straight to Frank. Frank, you showed me some clips about this. They're questionable, but you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to let you talk about it.
Look, I watch a show called Top Gear, and I fucking love Top Gear. I don't give a shit about cars. If you've ever lived in Chicago, you know that cars are basically a money sink. So cars are not really my thing. But watching Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May just bullshit around as three really good best friends is the best part of every single episode and best part of the show. Also, it's really dry British humor, and I kind of like really dry British humor. You know what I mean? Humor that's just, it's not really funny to a lot of people other than the people who really like dry British humor. And James May is one of those people who's just like 90% of his life is just dry British humor. Harv knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Downton Abbey and a fucking show right there, you know?
Exactly.
That's just
slight little quips, slight little things here and there. It's just it's something it's very unexplainable to me because I don't really. It's like an acquired taste, right? You either like British humor or you don't.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me because like I always say like I don't like get comedy. Like I don't really like comedic like things that are like marketed as comedy, but I do really enjoy like British humor. Like a very dry, witty, like that's my jam.
Yeah, and that's what these three people, these cast members are. One of the cast, going to it, I've been watching the Grand Tour again because I dropped off the Grand Tour for a little bit. It's an Amazon exclusive show on Amazon Prime. I found out recently that they got rid of the Top Gear-esque show format, and Jeremy Clarkson cried on camera because it's an end of an era. We're talking about a format that's been going on for almost 25 years plus. Crazy. But yeah, no, I've been watching the Grand Tour and I've been loving it. Just watching these guys go from like places like Colombia and stuff like that and have these dumb little wacky challenges where they pick, each one of them pick a car that's like kind of unique to their personality. One of them will pick like a nice muscle car. The other one will pick like a luxury car, and the other one will pick a shitty little kind of beater car. And then they all have to argue why that car is the best car out of all of them while driving through places like Colombia, like straight through the things. Do like making little land bridges so they can go from one island to the other. You know what I mean? There's really cool fun there, and uniquely, one of the reasons why I'm drawn to it is just the friendship of these three people. I don't know a lot of like on-screen personalities who stick as close together as these three cast members do, because they live in like three very much opposite parts of like the country or of the world. I mean. And they still find a way to all be together in some way. And there's some respect to that. I like I said, I was asking Mario, I was like, do you know any celebrities who really do it like that? And it's very hard to find them. To the point where like when the original Top Gear was canceled, what's interesting, Jeremy Clarkson, I think, punched his producer or something like that. And BBC said, nah, you're out, Clarkson. And then that day, I think somebody went up to James May, like paparazzi. They were going to like ask him like, hey, what are you guys going to do? Where's the future of Top Gear? And he was just like, yeah, I don't know what the future is, but I like work. He's an idiot, but I like working with that idiot. So I'm probably going to jump ship with him. And then they all just jump shipped and created their own thing with Amazon, which is funny because it's just a derivative of the same thing they were doing before. Which is hilarious because like they talk about it all the time. How like Top Gear is like nothing like how it is. However, the guy who played a person on Friends is like one of the cast members of the new Top Gear. I don't. The guy who plays Joey. Yeah. The guy who plays Joey is a cast member on there. So they every now and again they make jokes about it.
Matt LeBlanc.
Matt LeBlanc. Yeah, they make jokes about it because he's a car guy. So he was an obvious choice. To be fair, on like the new Top Gear, there was a Top Gear before Jeremy Clarkson. There was a Top Gear before Richard Hammond. You know, all those people. The show lives on because it can be universally somebody else in the seats.
It's one of those things where some new people just take over.
Yeah,
but still have like the legacy of Top Gear.
It's the thing that British people love to do. They just can't let things go, so they have to just pass it on like another Queen, Elizabeth II. You know, whatever. Doctor Who,
Empire.
Yeah,
007.
But one of the only thing I hate about the new Grand Tour stuff,
Colin.
and I forgot to mention this to Mario because I think Mario would actually love this aspect of it. The original Top Gear, it was cool because you had people talking about cars, you had people being friends, you had people doing these weird wacky challenges, and you had these specials where they would go to places, right? But it had one thing that I really wish we could replicate without having it be stuck to Top Gear, and that is they would have a board of people and they would pick a car and these people would drive this car and who would be the fastest. Now the people they picked were actual celebrities, so you had people like Tom Cruise, you had people like I'm terrible with naming off fucking
they had celebrities.
They had Tom Cruise.
I think
everyone was
Kiefer
Sutherland.
Kiefer Sutherland was on an episode, I remember. But they would take random celebrities from around the world and they would bring them in, even if they weren't car people. They would just come on and they'd be like, yeah, I drive a fucking Beetle every day. You know what I mean? Like they would talk.
Iconic.
They were always on there because the celebrities really loved. They knew Top Gear and they actually kind of liked Top Gear. So when they got on the show, they were like, yeah, dude, I'm actually kind of excited to be here because I want to drive this car and see who has the fastest time.
They would invite psychopaths onto their show. So that's why.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was cool to see like celebrities outside of their element a little bit because not a lot of celebrities are car people. And to have them just kind of be themselves and then watch them fucking crash this car was pretty damn fun. Unfortunately, they don't do that in the Grand Tour, which kind of sucks. But hey, you know, that format was stuck to the BBC stuff, so unfortunately it stuck to the BBC stuff. But yeah, no, I've been having a blast watching the Grand Tour. These guys have still got it, like even past like, you know, Top Gear and stuff like that. No matter what, as long as these three people are together, I will probably continue to watch anything they're in.
Okay. Well, that is Frank talking about the Grand Tour. I'll check out an episode. It's on Amazon, correct? It's currently on Amazon.
Yeah. I would say check out Top Gear. I think you'd like Top Gear more than Grand Tour. Grand Tour is very much like if you like the people, you'll continue to watch it. But like Top Gear, because of the celebrity stuff, I think you would enjoy that.
Yeah, the thing I was mentioning to you is actually there's a show that I got into during the pandemic that stars Ewan McGregor and like his acting best friend. And it's a show where basically they decided to travel. They wanted to go from one end of the earth all the way to the other and see if they can do it via just general travel. And they do it 3 times in different directions, which is cool. I think it's like from east to west is one show, west to north is another. Like they do some crazy stuff, and just it's dry and British humor because they're, you know, two buds that are just so I would do British and funny, going on this sort of adventure, and so that does appeal to me a little bit.
That is exactly what Top Gear is.
Saying,
3 people going on an adventure and doing wacky shit together.
That's essentially what that show's about. So that was an interesting piece to it for sure. You know, but I think I'll watch the Rings of Power first, but then Grand Tour is like right there. So
yeah,
give it a shot.
I gotta finish Rings of Power at some point.
I do have a question for you guys. Since we all are Gordon Ramsay aficionados, there are 66 celebrities who have taken the test track. What number do you think Gordon Ramsay is on that list?
Is he 66?
Is he above Jamie Oliver? Actually, is he above Jamie Oliver? Oh fuck! Okay, there's a problem here.
Jamie Oliver did it first.
Okay. 2 questions then. Where do you think Jamie Oliver is? Is he above or under Gordon Ramsay? And what number do you think he's at?
He's going to be under, obviously, just the way that your reaction was.
I'll say above.
I would say Jamie Oliver was 40, and Gordon Ramsay was 48.
Okay.
I'll say 30 and 40.
Okay. Sly.
I have no fucking clue. I'm trying to think what would be in between you two. I can't do math.
41 and 39.
First of all, was he even think Gordon Ramsay can drive? That's the question.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I'm sure he can.
He gets
his car is fueled on risotto and fucking scallops.
True. Well,
Okay, y'all were talking about the like friends going on adventures or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Gordon Ramsay like adventure show
No.
where he
But
just
talks
like
about
travels?
cocaine.
No.
I don't know. I don't remember. I
Have you
did
guys?
watch
Did we look at the poster? No, we didn't
Yeah.
look. I showed it on my stream. About like it says Gordon Ramsay looking at the effects of cocaine.
yeah, and he was like
That's
finding
the
cocaine in the thing.
Oh.
But Sly, what's your numbers so I could reveal the where
I
Gordon
was
Ramsay
going
is?
dead middle in between the number that Mario and Harv said.
39
That
and
was
41.
39.
All right, you guys
41.
ready for this?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Gordon Ramsay was 25 with a time of 1 minute 50 seconds.
Hell
All
yeah.
right? Do you know where Jamie Oliver is?
26.
24
Oh.
with the exact same time.
Oh
my
Exact
shit.
same time.
1 minute and 50 seconds.
God damn
Funny
it.
enough,
Jesus Christ.
Cliff Richard and Lionel Richie, Jeremy Clarkson, and Martin Clunes also had the same time of 1 minute 50 seconds.
Shout out to Lionel Richie.
Yeah,
Shout out to Lionel Richie.
straight up.
Yeah.
Thank you for Nicole Richie. Okay, continuing.
Nice.
Let's go ahead. We'll go ahead right back to me. Actually, I am in my spooky season. All right, it's Halloween time. I'm gonna start watching some scary movies. I could have talked about Hellraiser, but I don't want to because I didn't care much for it. Instead,
Damn. Shots fired.
No,
yeah,
don't say that.
and
I'm watching it solely for Gordon Vishnick.
go ahead.
Is he good?
Go ahead. Enjoy watching.
Go for it.
Go for it. That man can't escape my damn life if you're watching over us at MC University. But anyways, I subscribe to AMC Plus because they offered it to me for dirt cheap. And with AMC Plus, you actually get a subsection of Shudder, with basically the Netflix for horror stuff. And so on there, you get to see some of their exclusive content. And one of their exclusive things is actually a docuseries called Queer for Fear. And what Queer for Fear is, it is basically a produced show where they go through the history of queerness in horror movies, stemming all the way back from the very beginnings all the way up to everything that's going on now with horror. And what it fucking shocked me that oh, thanks, by the way, Fee is back. She survived the snake attack. Congratulations. She also subscribed to our channel.
All right.
Welcome,
We're
Fee.
also sending FEMA after you. So
Yeah, of course.
Good luck with
we're
that.
now sponsored by FEMA. It shocked me that Sly, did you know this? Gays created horror and sci-fi at the same time.
Yes, very much.
Yep. Mary Shelley, the queen of horror, was a gay woman and obviously created
Very queer.
obviously Frankenstein, which is both a mix of horror and science fiction. With that being the very basis of horror, starting all the way from then, stemming all the way through the history, going into even queer codedness in Bram Stoker's stuff. Oscar Wilde, which was someone who I know of. I know he's a very prolific writer. I know him pretty much from a Morrissey song. I did not know his history. And this was very much
queer.
very queer, died basically for being queer. But with that, obviously, he wrote the story of The Portrait of Dorian Gray, which is actually a pretty big horror story. And then it just follows his history, and you get to see all these people talk about it. And it's interesting how there is just this subtextual level of even like things that, you know, you don't think about is in this, the monster, the other. And I think that this docuseries basically does a great job of illustrating that and really bringing that out and talking about these elements that isn't really normally discussed. And I found that very refreshing. It's produced by and directed by Brian Fuller, who did things like Pushing Daisies. I'm sorry, not Pushing. Did he do Pushing Daisies? I think he did. No. It was oh my god, Dead Like Me, and the Hannibal series. fantastic writer. But yeah, check it out if you can. It is only basically exclusively on this platform, but ultimately, I definitely think it's worth a watch.
And if you have Shudder,
Yeah.
there is a family that makes movies that I am friends with that has a movie on Shudder.
Ooh,
It's called Hellbender.
Oh,
It's by the Addams Family. And
No relation.
they've done no relation to the show, but they frequent the independent film festival that's local to me. So I know the dad, the mom, and the two kids, and I've like seen them grow up. So yeah, if you have Shudder, check out Hellbender while you're there.
I've seen that poster in the selection, so I will definitely check that out. That's pretty cool.
Zelda is the younger daughter, and she's awesome. She's so cool.
Now, the movie that I want to talk about that is actually prolific to our Discord for the people that have watched it. Last Halloween, Sly, were you there for this? I don't really remember. Did you watch the movie with us?
I don't remember.
I think you were there. I just remember we all watched it and we all had visceral reactions to it. But ultimately, it was me, Harv, Frank, and Fee, and possibly you. I'm trying to remember that. But essentially, we all got together and we watched Halloween Kills, and we all lost our collective minds because we all thought it was terrible.
The movie fucking sucked.
We thought
the movie was terrible.
It was really
Evil dies tonight.
Evil
The only thing
dies tonight.
Only thing that died tonight was my fucking will to live.
And with that, we did not enjoy the movie. That night, I watched it before we watched it in the Discord. It was sort of me showing it to the Discord. I recorded a video. It did very well because it was immediately posted that night that I watched it because it was available on Peacock, and this movie's also available on Peacock. That was how I was able to watch it. And I did a follow-up video after watching this too, so we'll see how that video does this weekend. But ultimately, I'm here to talk about, of course, the final chapter in the Halloween trilogy sequel remake series, which is another subset like a Zelda timeline to the other Halloween movies. And this is sort of the end cap of course, the 2018 movie, followed up, of course, with Halloween Kills. This, of course, is the third one. This is the continuation of that story. The first two movies take place in the same night. This was a movie that takes place actually further along in the story, which makes sense. But ultimately,
not in the middle of March.
In the middle of March. No. I'm gonna.
It's March 23rd.
No, I just don't want to specify how much time has passed.
My birthday? What the fuck?
Is that your birthday?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Oh shit.
Both our birthdays, actually.
Yeah. No, March 23rd on the dot is my birthday.
Oh, is that what he said? Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
It takes a certain amount of time later. And I'm excited to possibly watch it with the Discord because I would love to see their reactions. But to bring up my reaction to it, I really like this movie.
Okay.
And, the thing about it, the reason why I liked it is a lot of the reasons why I don't think we liked the last one is because we thought that it was so pivotedly different from what we were expecting. And that's why I think a lot of it sort of like jarred us. The trailers of this movie are misleading. Super.
Oh, so they did the backwards thing. Like the trailers for the Halloween Kills was like really good. It looked like it was going to be a slasher film, and this one's like is not that.
It's more it's more reflective, and what I feel like what was really good about the first movie when it was focusing primarily on this character of Laurie Strode and her becoming a survivor many years later after her initial attack, someone who has to deal with that. And I feel like Kills, even though as much as I still don't like the movie, the setup in that movie does end credence into this movie to make this one actually feel like a complete cohesive piece of the three movies. And that's what I found fascinating because this movie, it is not what you think. It starts not where you think, and then it's a totally different story than what you think.
Okay.
And that's all
That's interesting.
That's all I'll say. But the visuals of the movie looks incredible because a lot of it kind of reminded me of the flashback scenes that we saw, which looked incredible in Halloween Kills. It looks like a movie shot in the 70s. And I think that is a 100% to its total not the opposite of detriment is what I'm trying to think of. It's a pot of positiveness.
Yeah,
Benefit.
one of the better parts of the Halloween Kills movies were those really cool flashbacks. And you're right, the fact that they kind of made it look like it was, even if you're watching on HD TV, it looks like you're watching on an old school CRT in like 12 o'clock in the afternoon in like the 1990s or 1980s.
Captured
looks
the
really
feeling.
fucking good.
Yeah, it captured the feeling, and this movie does that too. Even if it is a modern story, it captures the feeling of a 70s movie, which is really awesome, actually. And I think the soundtrack is fantastic. Just like in Halloween Kills, I think the one thing that John Carpenter, his major him contributing to this movie is the sound along with his son, and it definitely works. So,
yeah. Also, a small little tangent on John Carpenter.
Yes.
Shout out to him wanting to do a fucking Dead Space movie.
Of course.
Please, somebody just give him, like, whoever needs to talk to John Carpenter to get John Carpenter to do a Dead Space movie. Can we just like make that happen?
Just hand him the rights.
Look,
That'd be EA, wouldn't it?
It would be EA.
Yeah, actually.
To be fair, though, his last movie was Ghost of Mars, and that's basically a Dead Space movie. You can watch that.
Yeah,
It's got Ice Cube in
but
it.
like, if we can get Kanye West in touch with Hideo Kojima, I
That
know
was a pull.
bad timing.
That was a weird
bad timing
right now.
But it was still a fucking crazy pull that somebody got Kanye West in touch with Hideo Kojima. I think it's possible to get John Carpenter in touch with EA. Make it happen. Just make it happen. If Keanu Reeves wants to play Constantine and we got a movie announced like 6 months later, it's possible.
And then EA is gonna be like, how do we put loot boxes into this?
Fuck. How do we loot box John Carpenter?
Yeah.
Is there a battle pass we could do?
It's called movie tickets.
God damn. EA, if you put fucking any microtransactions in Dead Space, you are dead to me. Deader than you already are, actually, but dead to me.
From what we've seen on Dead Space, it looks fucking good. Like,
It looks good.
fucking
It looks
Dude,
good, but I'm really
Callisto
holding
Protocol
out.
coming out in December,
I know we eating, boy.
and
We
then
eating,
we
boy.
got fucking Dead Space coming out in January.
We eating.
God,
We
I'm
eating.
so excited. I'm so excited.
To end this segment on Halloween Ends, I think it's worth watching.
I'm gonna watch it later on today. Actually, that intrigued me. Can I get your login for Peacock?
I will confirm or deny that on stream, but yes,
Is there
we'll talk
any
later.
dumb death in the game or in the movie?
Dumb death?
Well,
Yeah, like the lady that opened the door
Oh,
and
yeah.
shot herself in the face.
I'll say the kills in this are really cool. They're actually really
Okay.
inventive, and they're not like goofy like that
No
one.
self-inflicted wounds.
No, well, I won't say that, but but I'll say that like there is an inventiveness, and the music is reinforcing it, and it's actually there's a great shot in the background that you just see shadows, and you know what the shadows are doing, and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. But yeah, no, I'm really excited to watch this movie again, primarily because it's opposite. The movie that I will compare it to, which it has no major comparison to it, is The Guest, which is a movie that I love and is basically a send-up of John Carpenter movies. And so if that intrigues you in any way, that's
I was
actually...
gonna say The Hobbit.
Yes, it's like The Hobbit. It's in 45 frames per second. You can only watch it in theaters in a certain format on Peacock.
Only on 20 millimeter.
Only on Peacock.
Yes. And that, of course, is what we've been watching. We're going to move on to what we've been reading. It looks like Frank and Sly have been doing a lot of reading. So, Sly, actually, Frank, tell me about the Lost Hero. I want to hear about it.
I only wrote this in here just because I just wanted to announce that I finally finished all 5 Percy Jackson books. I am refreshed. I know what's going on in this universe. So now I'm finally going back to reading Lost Hero. I started back from the beginning.
Not wait.
Yeah, I'm liking it so far.
God.
Good. I'm fucking loving it because the first 5 books of Percy Jackson was definitely a refresher, right? As soon as I started reading some of the pages, like, okay, I remember this. Oh, I forgot about this, or things I really didn't understand as a teenager. Now I understand as an adult, right? Or basically as close of an adult I am. But yeah, I started going back to Lost Hero now, and I it's just seeing some of the characters and seeing them with brand new writing is really fun. Like Kyron, Annabeth, and all the other characters. And them even mentioning what happens after book 5. It's really cool. I really wish the author Rick would just make another like Percy Jackson series, because I love that core audience, but I got a feeling if I just barrel through Lost Hero, I might even like the new cast as much as I did the old one. And it seems like every other kind of like book within this kind of intertwined multiverse of characters now have their own kind of lovable cast of characters. So we'll see. I want to start getting to like the Mark of Athena and like all those other kind of books, the other kind of crazy stuff. Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
I think okay, I love Lost Hero. I really think it was a strong choice. Once you get to book 2, I think you'll have a fuller understanding of what the series will look like going forward. And I'm really excited for you to get to the beginning of book 2.
Yeah, because I'm really kind of trying to figure out what's going on. The first Percy Jackson book kind of barrels you straight into that universe, and I really like that. Whereas this one is 100% like you can read it and not have read the original 5, but it's definitely like good to have that little refresher of what's going on in the world. But it definitely doesn't like push you as in hard as the Last Olympian did, or not Last Olympian, but you know what I mean, the first Percy Jackson book. I will say,
Pedro,
shout out to some of the castings that we saw this week too of Percy Jackson thing. Yeah, I know you were hyped about Medusa, and I'm hyped about Edge. Honestly, I think that's a cool casting too.
Okay, so
right.
if you
I actually want to know why.
Yeah,
I actually want to know why, but yeah, please.
Okay, if you know anything about me, one of my favorite movies of all time is the DCOM, Another Cinderella Story, featuring Selena Gomez.
Oh,
and you know who plays the best friend Tammy in that movie? Jessica Parker Kennedy. She was definitely a part of my queer awakening. She's currently dating one of the stars on 911 Lone Star, which is so funny to me because that couple is like the definition of bi panic. And I love that for them. Anyways, I love Jessica Parker Kennedy. And so I saw this announcement via the tweet via a group chat. So Marissa saw the tweet, texted Sly Important, and I lost my mind. I love Percy Jackson. I love her as an actor. I'm so excited. If you don't know what else she's done, you might know her as Nora in the Flash universe. Anyways.
Wait,
very excited.
I'm Nora Allen?
Nora Allen. Yeah.
Oh, I love her. She's great.
I'm very sad. I'm, knowing what we know of Medusa in this story might be a very short appearance.
Are you
Maybe
sure you
just
really
one
episode? That hyped? It's gonna be one episode. It's gonna be the Gnome Emporium. Shout out to the Gnome Emporium.
I guarantee there's gonna be a button at the end. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm very excited. She's playing Medusa. It's gonna be, my favorite couple minutes of that show, but I can't wait.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Mario about this too, like with like some of the characters on there. I'm hyped for Medusa because that means we're definitely getting at least a Gnome Emporium episode. But I was really kind of like, people are really expecting Edge to be fighting people in the show, and I'm like, honestly, they're gonna have to rewrite that show because like Zeus doesn't fight somebody until like the 5th book. If you don't know, in the Percy Jackson universe, the gods are not supposed to kind of interfere. That's the reason why the demigods are usually doing stuff. So it'll be very interesting to see how much of a role Edge plays in this. More than likely, he's just going to be a face figure more than like, fighting guy. But anything's possible. There might be a scene where we might see some WWE moves from Zeus.
Spear!
I mean,
so he gets fucking speared.
He's Ares, isn't he?
No, he's Zeus.
Zeus. Okay.
Oh, is he Ares? No, I think he was announced as Zeus.
And we do see Ares get some combat in the first book, I'm pretty sure.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, please look it up for me because I'm pretty sure he was Zeus.
Ares.
If Ares? Oh, I'm wrong then. Oh, okay, never mind. This is gonna be
we'll
gonna be
sure
good.
Get some action.
Oh yeah, no, there's some good shit with Ares in the first book. So this is gonna be very interesting. Oh my god, that changes my whole perspective of his casting now, because like at first I was like, I didn't really imagine Zeus that way. Like, yeah, I can kind of see it now as Ares though. How they describe him, because they describe Ares in the book as like a biker, right? Bandana, full leather jacket, walks around with a fucking big chain. I think he has a shotgun on his on his motorcycle. Of course, the black sunglasses. You know what I mean. So he's gonna be straight up biker dude when we see him. So that's gonna be interesting.
Oh, there you go.
On that note, I'm going to talk about what I picked up this week. Because if you didn't know, this week was my half birthday, which is the one I celebrate. And so I went to Target and I was like, I'm going to treat myself to something. And you know what I picked up? I picked up the box set of Percy Jackson.
Let's fucking go.
It's the one with the gorgeous art.
Here, hold on.
I'm
jealous. This looks so good.
The art is cohesive throughout the spines and the covers. The covers make a poster. So if you put all 5 books next to each other, you can see the whole artwork spread out. It's a little glary because I still have it in plastic wrap.
Oh, I love the spines though. Is that supposed to depict Ares, Poseidon, and Zeus, right?
I love it. At the bottom.
Oh no, it's New York. Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's New York
skyline.
with the skyline, New York with Zeus's lightning bolts at the top and Poseidon's thing. That's so fucking cool. I like that.
I am
totally jealous.
Super in love with it. But I've never owned a copy of any of the Percy Jackson books. When I lost all my books in the fire a couple years ago, I was like, I'm gonna try to prioritize buying things I haven't owned before. And I read the first Percy Jackson series only through my elementary school library. So I never owned any of them. And then when I reread them, I definitely totally obtained legal copies of like EPUBs or PDF formats.
Okay. I thought we were going to talk about how some of us have actually, like, including me. I'm sorry, you can't get me now. I'm 26. Fuck you, CPS. I stole a few of their books.
No, so this is the first time I've ever owned any of the PJO books, so that was really exciting for me. The other thing I've been doing this week is if you can't tell by the everything about me, I really enjoy fan fiction. I know it's a shocker. I've never talked about it on the show before, ever.
You didn't know this, but the FEMA actually stands for fan fiction, evil manipulation agenda.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That's actually
that was solid. And so I think I mentioned I was listening to a podcast called The Fic List, where they take a new tag every episode and talk about fanfics, like a book club. And every time I listened to an episode, there would be a fic that came up in my mind. And I was like, oh, I've read this fic that has that tag. And so I was like, what if I create a spreadsheet? And so I've technically made 2 spreadsheets because I have my personal one and then we're working on one as a group. It has the same information anyways. So I compiled a list of all the tags that they've mentioned, and I'm going through my memory, my bookmarks on AO3, etc. to fill out the spreadsheet. And I just want to say that without reading any new fanfics for this list of tags, I think there's like 40 or something tags that I have put down. I have filled out all but 2 using just my bookmarks and my memory. So I've been revisiting some of those fics that I've been putting on this list. If you want access to my personal spreadsheet, it's also color-coded by fandom. So I can see how many of them are 911 fanfiction, unfortunately. I will send you my personal spreadsheet. You may or may not be able to see the group project spreadsheet It'll be an after party show work eventually. It's nowhere close to ready yet. But yeah, that's what I've been working on and reading this week.
Well, that explains the spreadsheets in the opening of the show. So
I love a spreadsheet. I think I talked about this the PAX week of the week after PAX that I got made fun of for my love of spreadsheets at PAX. But I really love a spreadsheet. I love using spreadsheets to procrastinate literally anything I have to do in my life.
I'm actually looking at our MC University spreadsheet right now, and it's like, oh yeah, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do still.
We do.
Oh Lord. Well,
I love a good I like a good spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate it. Anyways.
I like a good TPS. I like a good TPS report. Yeah, you heard me, Karen. I said that.
Forgot.
Just fucking looking at me.
Oh, the Karen's a fictional character in your life now. That, of course, has been what we've been reading, and now we're going to talk about what have we been listening to. Sly, what have you been listening to?
I don't know how to. What is this?
How do you say that?
So, if you don't know, I'm a huge fan of a group called Clipping.
Okay.
One of the names you might know is David Diggs. He was in the original Broadway cast of Hamilton. He was in the new Snowpiercer.
He's in that.
He's done a lot of cool things.
He's in that show. Oh my god, what's it called? Oh man, hold on, I'll look it up. It was a movie and then it was a TV show.
Snowpiercer.
There was another show called Blind Spotting. I want to say.
Another one? Oh, Blind Spotting. Yeah. Him and Rafael Casal did Blind Spotting.
That's right.
Yeah. Also incredible.
Yes.
But so I'm a huge Clipping fan, and over the past month or so, they've been doing their second edition of remixing, and so it's remixing but without any of the I's, which is a reference to their second album was Clipping the name of the group, except for without any of the I's, because all of the stories are in third person. Really cool. Anyways, they're doing a bunch of remix albums. They've done 4, so they're 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4. And I've been listening through.
I was saying that's such an internet thing of just being able to label something 2 point something, you know.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying them. I think I put them all in a playlist, so I'll just listen to all. They're I don't know if they're technically albums or EPs, but they're short. They're 7-ish songs or whatever. The art's pretty cool. Yeah, very much. I think my favorite is 2.2. I don't know if I could say that with fully confidence, but 2.4 just came out maybe yesterday, maybe 2 days ago. Time is fake. The point is, there's a song on 2.4 that's called A Clipping Story, and all of their story songs, Story 2, Story 7, are some of my favorite works they've ever done. So that remix is incredible. Anyways, I'm a huge nerd. And that's the summation of this segment. Go check out Clipping if you have not listened to them yet.
Okay. Well, that is pretty much everything done in the checkpoint. So I want to give everybody a round of applause for sharing all the things that we love and talking about it. That was fun. Those are all good times. But let's go on and move on to our final segment for the night. We're, of course, talking about the patch notes. And
yes.
This one, I'm going to pass this on to Frank because you came up with the topic today.
Yeah, so we're doing patch notes a little bit differently. Every other week, we're probably gonna do a format where we have kind of more of a personal question for the cast to kind of talk about, and just kind of let's explore each other a little bit, not in weird consensual way. But anyway, oh man.
Exploring each other's minds, not our bodies.
Not our bodies. Just get to know the cast a little bit better, because I feel like we all
had a consensual relationship with a coworker.
With the patch. Oh God, did Fee talk about that last week? By the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're
Okay.
Muted. You're muted, Mario.
But yeah,
Yes, for
I
a full
wanted
hour.
to have another segment just to kind of maybe just shake things up a bit, but also be able to like we can talk more personally, rather than others saying like we hate said news or we like said news. You know what I mean? But yeah, we're gonna start that off. We haven't created a nice little name for it yet. I'll figure out something. Usually we come up with something when we're in the spur of the moment. But anyway, the topic of this week is going to be what game started you on your gaming journey, and why has it stuck with you since? We're gonna start with Harv. Harv, hit me with it. I was right, by the way.
What?
You were right.
I said earlier, I was like, Harv's gonna say Final Fantasy.
It's my defining feature. All right, it's my defining feature. When somebody looks at me, they're like, "That guy likes Final Fantasy." It's like, yeah. But no, not really. But I grew up with like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, those kind of games, but I didn't get into like gaming until the PlayStation, really, because that's where I really like. Well, yeah, PlayStation N64 era was really when I got into gaming. It was mostly my brother buying a console and I was just playing it, kind of type thing. But Final Fantasy VII was one of the first games that I played, completed, and was flabbergasted how good the story was and how great the game was. And that kind of got me hooked to the Final Fantasy formula, I guess, right? Turn-based game, long turn-based RPGs, grindathons, where you're just sitting in one place for like 15, 20 hours grinding away and then going to the boss and stuff like that. And that pretty much like got me started going back to that. After that, I started playing the old Final Fantasy games. So I played 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. And going through those is just like, man, I was just like, man, this series is fucking amazing. Like this series is on another level. And then I played Final Fantasy VIII, and then it's one of my favorite games, but I get shit for it because it is one of my favorite games because it's a very broken game. But like, I remember growing up watching my brother play Final Fantasy VII. That was the first time I watched him play like an RPG like that, and I was like, oh man, I am just like glued to the screen. And then I started my own file and I played through the entire thing. I think I finished it before he finished his story. So it kind of kickstarted me with this RPG-esque thing. It's really hard for me to find an RPG like that again. Persona was the closest thing, and that's why I dumped like hundreds and hundreds of hours into Persona, like 140 hours into it when I finished it. But honestly, it's like the stories and the RPG elements that kind of got me into gaming, and those were like the mainstays for that. And then just like spoiler alert for a game that's 20 plus years, when the Aerith scene happens, I was just
literally unplayable now.
I was just like that. I was.
I'm playing that game right now, Harv. How dare you?
Oh, it's 20 something years, man. How was that not been spoiled for you? That's been spoiled for you, right?
I watched the movie Advent Children, and they spoil it right there. So don't worry.
Oh, okay. No. There you go.
Which I have in 4K. It looks great.
Yeah, so when that happens.
Speaking of which, getting spoilers in weird places, the book Solitaire by Alice Oseman, the creator of Heartstopper, spoiled, classic text, Metamorphosis by Ovid. I have it on my reading list. I haven't read it yet. I got spoiled by Solitaire.
Well, my favorite recent of that. No, not the game.
I thought it was just a card game.
My favorite recent thing of that.
Is there lore?
My favorite thing of that recently was She-Hulk spoils The Sopranos. Pretty hardcore. It's really funny. It's really funny. All right, continue, Harv. Sorry.
No, you're good. No, I was just gonna say it was just one of those things where when that scene happened, I could not believe it. I had to like put the controller down. And I was like, dude, I that doesn't happen. Like looking at other Final Fantasy games now, like looking back at them, none of these kind of big events happen except in Final Fantasy VI, where at the start of the game, the very start of the game, Kefka destroys the entire world and kills everybody, all the protagonists, everybody. So like this kind of thing just doesn't happen very often in these kind of games, where we're a main character that you've had for like 20 hours, and you're just like, man, this is crazy. And she's, I've upgraded her. She's got great materia. She's got all the good materia, and then she fucking dies, and you're like, well, there goes my materia.
Yeah, you know what? I can't say what game because it is a very big spoiler for that game. But there is a game that we all have played and loved, where in the middle of it a character does bite it, and you can totally level them up like a lot, and you just don't know that they die. And that's honestly the first time I ever experienced that in an RPG or like a spoiler. It's a turn-based game. But yeah, it's weird. It's jarring because it's like, shit, if I knew, I wouldn't have like put anything into that character, but like they were a core part of your cast, and it feels a lot different as opposed to like somebody who isn't part of that cast, because it's a character that you actually experience time with. You put time into that character, much like a real person or much like a friend or something like that. That makes it so much harder to when they actually bite the dust on that. You're 100% right.
Because Aerith is such a character that means so much to the main character, to Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And
in turn you as a character too, because you embody Cloud in a way.
Without that event happening, Cloud is not the person he becomes at the end of the game. It just he just doesn't have that switch because he's like
it's kind of cocky.
He's
kind of an asshole.
He is, but because he's created synthetically, right? So like it's he doesn't really have those emotions like other people do, right?
Yeah, he's growing in a tube of Vegemite.
Now you're just spoiling remake for me. Just kidding. I'm kidding again.
I was gonna be like, you watched Advent Children, you should know all of this now. At this point, because I'm pretty sure Advent Children goes through all of this stuff.
Probably, most likely.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I that was the game. That's why it in my generation, Final Fantasy VII was the game. Yeah, that was the game.
It was a big game for that. It was fucking huge in that generation too. What they did with the technology.
Yeah. And this is why everybody's so fucking excited and over the moon for Final Fantasy VII Remake, because us 34-year-olds or 35-year-olds are just kind of like, holy fuck, we get to replay this game, and we're gonna cry
relive
again.
Yeah, you get to relive. You get to relive what you thought the game looked like back then, basically.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, the game does not look what it looks like. But
no, it doesn't. I've replayed it again. I replayed it like 3 years ago, I think it was. Not the remaster, like whatever the remaster version came out or whatever it was. I think it wasn't even the remaster version.
Just the re-release.
The re-release. The game still fucking plays well. Yeah. It plays great. Yeah. Like it's still what I remember what Final Fantasy VII.
It's quirky and fun as I'm enjoying it.
Exactly. Especially when you go to like the Golden Saucer and stuff like that, right? Like the shit kind of goes
it's
a little
gorgeous.
batshit crazy.
It's a certified hood classic.
Certified hood
so
classic.
That's one of those games that, as a collective generation, we're just like, this is one of the best games ever created. Which, in my opinion, is one of the best games. But like it gets that because it was the first Final Fantasy game a lot of people delved into first. And I think for later generation, like Tim Geddes' generation, like like the early 30s or like late 20s, I think it would be more Final Fantasy X. That's where like Final Fantasy X came out, and people were all about Final Fantasy X.
I very much remember that kind of PS2 era of like, now we're going into that 3D, fully 3D, like kind of world and stuff like that. You can actually like walk around and envelop, as opposed to like the asymmetric 3D models. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it got me on this trajectory, and that's why I played I've played every single Final Fantasy game that's ever come out. That's why I got really deep into Final Fantasy 11, which was the MMO. I played that for, I think it was like 10 years or so. My entire my last year of high school and my first year of university were just consumed, or 2 years of university were just consumed by Final Fantasy 11.
I gotta mention this in the chat. Karth, of course, said 35 years old. Where's your Tamagotchi?
Oh my god, Karth. we had pet rocks back then, Karth. Thank you very much.
That is a reference to the 70s. Oh Lord.
So yeah, and then that got into like Final Fantasy 14. Obviously, we play now, but like whenever a new Final Fantasy drops, like Final Fantasy 16 is coming out, that's all I'm going to be playing and talking about when that game comes out, because Final Fantasy is just, it's ingrained to me now. It's ingrained into what I play games.
Yeah. I grew up playing 8th actually, and I actually really do enjoy it, but I stepped away from Final Fantasy basically since then, and it wasn't until 15 came back and brought me back into the fold and made me want to play 7. So I'm starting my journey through all of them as well. It's a slow process.
They're going to be a slow process because they are grindy games.
They're very
like
grindy
games. let's not beat around, but these are like 40, 50 hour games. Like these are short experiences. Final Fantasy 1, I think it's like 30 hours to finish. And then like I think they just get a little bit longer as you go. So it's understandable when and plus it's turn-based. So if you don't like turn-based games, then you're not going to like these games.
100% though, these are Steam Deck games right now. These are definitely games
100%.
you buy for your Steam Deck. You fucking play them on the Steam Deck.
I was recommended the Pixel remasters are beautiful on this thing. So
yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like get a Pixel remaster if you want to go through the series.
Final Fantasy 1. Have you guys? Has anybody here played Strangers in Paradise? Am I the only one that's played it?
Speaking of which, where's my hat?
I know the spoiler, but I am really excited to play that game just because I know. And I
don't know the spoiler.
It's so good. It's so well because Strangers in Paradise is
yeah, boy.
Yeah.
$80.
I'm gonna need you to buy that game on Steam so we can both play it.
Fuck you! Give me half the money.
No.
I will say the Strangers in Paradise story not great until the very end.
Until the very end.
Until the very end, then it's like, oh fuck, this is fucking good, dude. But the combat system is really, really well done.
Final
Fantasy, you like the Neo system.
Karl said Final Fantasy X has an ingrained gray hair into me.
Has anybody here played Final Fantasy X before?
No, I know it was a big deal though.
I know it's also hard. Through the beginning of Kingdom Hearts. That's how I know those characters.
There's a boss in that game named Seymour, and you have to fight him 3 times if I remember correctly. He's one of the hardest bosses each time you fight him because he just does so much damage, and like. You don't know this, but mostly every human enemy is weakness is bio.
Oh,
which is a poison.
He's all bio, isn't he?
Oh, you have to bio him, but you don't know
him.
that. But you don't know that because the game doesn't fucking tell you. So you're just sitting there smacking your head against the wall while you keep fucking dying over and over and over again against this boss. And yeah, I told him to use bio, and I think he beat it afterwards because like that's how I won. That's the only way that I won. But the game, these games don't tell you these things, right? They don't say like you need to use this against this person and stuff like that. So
yeah, I definitely want to get into that series. It's one of those things where like I really want to get into it so I can understand Final Fantasy 14 more. You know what I mean? Like I want to have those moments of, oh, I get that reference now.
So you guys were talking about Edge Runner, right? You guys were talking about how like you can play or you can watch this series but without playing the game, right?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14 does that because like it's right now most of the expansion is based off of Final Fantasy 4. So you have Final Fantasy 4 enemies, Scarmiglione, Barbaricia, Cognazzo, and like yeah, these are all Italian names, by the way.
No, I'm laughing at what Karl just said. Edge Runner PTSD. Yeah. Karl, we know exactly how you feel. At least me and Mario do.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. This weekend. And then, but the thing is, like, you don't need to play Final Fantasy 4 to understand the things that are happening in Final Fantasy 14. It's just kind of like, oh, that's a cool nod, right? But like. Final Fantasy 4 is fucking awesome. It is one of the best games in the Final Fantasy series.
It also might help.
The story is so good
to play some games before playing Strangers in Paradise as well. But yeah,
I want to go.
You gotta play one at least to get Strangers in Paradise's like story. You gotta play at least Final Fantasy 1.
All right.
And I think isn't there a sale going on right now? They might actually already be on sale. I have no idea, but we got paid, so I might actually pick up Final Fantasy 1 and start fucking around with that on the Steam Deck.
That means I get to play it as well.
Pixel Remaster is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 you can get, and 6 you get. Yeah. So
I'm gonna check on Humble Bundle later. They might actually be on sale.
Oh well, thank you, Harv, for telling us your history of Final Fantasy.
Yep, I was gonna go over to Sly, but Sly has disappeared.
Sly is taking a break from FEMA.
Yep. So we're gonna move over to Mario. Mario, tell me about your. So for anybody who's coming in right now, what is the game that started you on your gaming journey, and why has it stuck with you since then?
So I was born in 1990, and around that time, my father was heavily into collecting consoles. He had a Sega Genesis. There was obviously the NES and Atari. So I was able to experience quite a collective of consoles that by the time that the N64 was roughly just around the corner, I saw that my mind exploded, right? But before I got to the N64, the thing that captured my imagination and honestly sort of exploded by this, it actually explains a lot of my early childhood, is a little game called Kung Fu. If you know what Kung Fu is, it was an NES game where it's the same trope of Mario, but essentially just put it in the lens of sort of martial arts Japanese stuff, where they're not Japanese, just martial arts in general. Where it's they basically kidnap your girlfriend and she's in a tower, and then you got to make your way to the tower. But it had this like awesome kick-ass soundtrack mixed in. At the time, I was watching a lot of Jackie Chan films, and so I was heavily into Rumble in the Bronx, Rush Hour, what is my name, all those movies. And so with that. That was essentially my introduction to video games was this game Kung Fu, which then exploded in me playing a lot of other NES games. But just the idea of like, I have like a goal to accomplish, and it's very much like the other media that I am consuming at the time, and I get to experience it by actually making the decisions and taking on these bad guys. That's what sort of like opened my mind to like, oh, what is this medium? And then from there, it exploded, right? I was playing Mario. I was playing Dunk Hunt. I was playing Aladdin. I was playing Jurassic Park. I was playing the X-Men on Sega Genesis. There was this whole massive like beginning structure of my life was being able to experience these different little experiences and being able to play. And it all started with Kung Fu. So I wanted to at least bring that up pretty much as sort of the launching pad to where I am today, and I'm playing games. Basically, I'm playing Yakuza, which is similar in terms of like the evolution of what this game probably should have been.
That's why I'm smiling right now, because I'm like, yeah, it's kind of close to.
Yeah.
If the Kung Fu was made today, it would basically just be a Yakuza game.
It would be a Yakuza game, and essentially, I'm playing that now on the Steam Deck. I'm playing Yakuza 0, and that is the evolution of it. It's the hero's journey going through and surviving through this gauntlet of different ordeals that he has to deal with to, rescue the people that he cares about. And that's essentially where it all started. So I want to give a shout out to Kung Fu. And one day they should never remake this game. It was old. It's too old. But the music was top 10 as far as I'm concerned.
I'm trying to remember. Like every time I think of Kung Fu, I think of the Karate Kid game. That's why I'm like, I can't really.
Very similar.
Every time he says Kung Fu, I think of Shaq Fu.
Yeah.
But imagine it pixelated and very like just someone like kicking and just making the most annoying noise. But
I think I know which one you're talking about now, actually.
Yeah, but I'll find music in the you know what? I'll see if I can pull it up. But ultimately, yeah, Kung Fu.
Yeah, show me a screenshot of Kung Fu, because I'm a little hazy on this one.
Yeah, I'll get it for you. But go ahead and move on to the next.
Yeah, I'm gonna say mine, because I know Sly's got two, so we're gonna give Sly the whole floor. And yeah, I'm gonna say mine really quick. Mine, if you already know me, you already know what this game is. It's Metal Gear Solid. Literally when I was about 3 or 4 years old, I don't remember which. I don't have that much of a good memory as a child, but I remember my dad. He got a PlayStation 1. I don't know how. He probably fell off a truck or some shit. But he got us a PlayStation 1, and he got me a copy of Metal Gear Solid. Now, I have no idea if he knew what Metal Gear Solid was before Metal Gear Solid. I think it was just a random buy. I think he just bought it because it looked cool. Because it was mainly for him more than me. Because I was like 3 or 4 years old. There's no way I'm gonna play this PlayStation. You know what I mean? It was mainly he played video games. He played his N64. He bought a PlayStation mainly for himself. And I kind of was along the ride with it. He owned the classics. He had Resident Evil. He had all of them. But the first one I ever touched was Metal Gear Solid. Now, at the time, both my parents were separated. So I would have to bring this PlayStation from one house all the way to another. And me and my dad, we played this every weekend, because I would be with my dad during the weekend. I'd be with my mom during the week, so then I can go to school. That's a good old solid snake right there in the very flesh. But I would take this game from house to house, and me and my dad, we would play it over the weekend. And it was really cool because it was almost like an episode almost, right? Because the game was at his house, so I would leave it over there. And I would have other games that we would like rent through Blockbuster while I was with my mom. Because for some reason, we lived right next to a Blockbuster, like almost like 2 streets away. So it was pretty nice to have a Blockbuster in your neighborhood. So we would rent out these games, we do that. But Metal Gear was like the first one I actually like sat down and really kind of played through, right? As a kid, like it's hard to describe because me and my dad, we would kind of go through this game, and of course, like I said, I'm like 3 or 4 years old. I don't know what's really going on. I just want to shoot people and punch things. You know what I mean? Everything just look cool on the screen, right?
Yeah, 3 or 4 years old. You want to shoot some people. You want to punch some people out.
Because at this point, like I've already been introduced to shit like Evil Dead. You know what I mean? My parents did not care. They introduced me to horror. They introduced me to everything. My sister introduced me to like small soldiers because she knew it would freak the fuck out of me.
Awesome.
The movie's awesome, not as a 4-year-old. It's really scary as a 4-year-old. But playing through Metal Gear, it took us years to finish this game, by the way. We didn't finish Metal Gear in months. We didn't finish Metal Gear in weeks. It took years to finish this game. Because eventually I would kind of pick up on video games and be like, okay, we're playing Metal Gear, we get through like a little bit of it, and then we get stuck somewhere, right? And then me and my dad would be like, I tried this, I couldn't figure it out. And I'd be like, I tried this and I couldn't fucking figure it out. So then we would kind of go through and we kind of just like shared notes almost like of how we can complete this game. And I remember us getting stuck on the codec call where you had to flip the disc over and you had to like check the back of the box to find it. I remember we were stuck on that for months. We were stuck on that shit for months because this is before the internet. And we didn't have money for these fucking guides or anything like that. And we had a computer at that time, but like again, we weren't using it for that. I had like a Tonka truck thing or something like that. You just like drill the TV screen or something with. So it wasn't really using the internet like that because it was very restricted for a 4-year-old, 4 or 5-year-old at this point, probably. But yeah, it was really fun to kind of do that. And then one day he's like, I figured it out. You got to look at the back of the box. And then it blew our minds because we're like, we could see more of the game now. Finally, we could just kind of go through it. Eventually we finished it. And eventually I would just come back to it because it was one of those games where I never understood as a kid. And then growing up, I would come back to it again and again and again because at this point we're a broke family, you know what I mean? We can't afford new games. Blockbuster's like slowly starting to kind of fade away at this point because we're not near one anymore. It was basically Hollywood Video or like some dude's like backyard video store.
We all have one of those.
Yeah, exactly. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. They always had the little fucking jeweled doorway with where they hid all the porn and stuff like that. You're like, I wonder what's back there. But yeah, it was a time, and playing through that game, it changed my perspective on a lot of things, right? Because most video games at the time were very much like shoot bad guy, bad, kill him, please, and that's it. Good guy, good. Metal Gear always challenged that idea. Metal Gear was always a game about, are the bad guys really bad guys? And why does the main character give them so much respect? He's a one-liner character that does one-liners on some characters, but like when the character talks about, you know, his enemies, he didn't necessarily be like, nah, fuck those guys, I hate them. He was always just like, yeah, we're soldiers and I respect them. They're just on the other side of the battle. They're fighting their war and I'm fighting my war. You know what I mean? There's no hate there. It's just us doing our job. And that perspective as a kid, learning that very early was like, damn. And so enemies can have a good reason to be bad. And it like, now that I understood it from that game, you start to look at the perspective of like people like Ganon, for example, right? In Legend of Zelda. Or like the Joker in Batman, you know what I mean? Like it changes everything 100%. And because of the way Metal Gear was written and the way Kojima kind of wrote that story of like, these are bad guys, but they have a very, very good reason to be bad guys. And you'd probably be bad if you're in their shoes too.
I think that's definitely more in like in lines with like commentary of like, I would say like the Vietnam War or like Korean War of us, like, the war, it was just not good on both sides for the most part, but they had a reason to want to fight. That was, you know, it's their land.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go into a big tangent on why Metal Gear, what happens in Metal Gear Solid. If you please just play the game. It's one of my favorite games. It's a classic. everybody should play it once. You should also play Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 because those are also insanely good classic games. But yeah, it changed my perspective on things. And then just the idea of, yeah, I could have started with a game like Doom and I'd probably be like an insane like FPS shooter like I am now. But Metal Gear taught me one thing, and that is thinking is a lot better than thinking about your situation is a lot better than just bull rushing straight through it. Right? If you bull rush straight through it, you're going to get caught, you're going to get outnumbered, you're going to die. Right? You have to think about what your enemy's doing and learn to sneak around that. And learning that very young of like, okay, not everything needs to just be bull rush through. Some things need to be methodically thought through. In a video game where I would constantly do that again and again and eventually kind of learn the system, how everything works in that, it was a lot of fun. It was so different than what other games were doing, because a lot of the games were just bull rush through. Or even like, imagine if I started a Final Fantasy 7 with Harv, you know what I mean? I'd probably be a Final Fantasy 14 person too. But that changed my perspective of like everything. And stealth games have been literally my life and blood since then. It's very like there's not a lot left, unfortunately, which sucks because we don't get a Splinter Cell anymore. We don't get Metal Gears anymore. We don't get any of those games because people deem those boring because you got to think too much. In my opinion, I love thinking a little too much, but it's something that I cannot shake. And Mario knows this too, because like I play Dishonored stealth. I play all these other games where you can totally be the bull rush shooter. I will always 100% choose stealth. My first build in Cyberpunk was a stealth build because I think it's just I think that way of approach is just way better than bull rush shooting through everything. But you know, to each their own. But because of Metal Gear, it's been so ingrained into my life that that's how I play video games now. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, between that and then like even my dad still loves the series. Like he's excited for the new movie. I can't wait to go watch it with him, you know what I mean? Be like, remember this scene, remember this scene, remember this scene. But yeah. Metal Gear is that for me.
Is Metal Gear the one with is it the first one where who's that one dude that if there's a second controller plugged in?
Mm-hmm. That's the one.
Different things. That's the Metal Gear, right? And that's the one also one with like the ladder that goes forever.
That's Metal Gear Solid 3.
That's 3. Okay. You're also muted, Mario.
God damn it. That's another entry, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. That controller one tripped us up for a little bit because that was one where it was just like, wait, what the fuck? We got to plug it into the other port?
What was his name?
Psycho Mantis.
Psycho Mantis. Yeah, because they didn't say like I am Metal Gear or some shit like that, or I'm fucking Solid Snake or some shit.
Yeah.
You've been playing Castlevania Sympathy of the Night.
You know?
I am Alucard.
God. Fantastic.
One day I never got into the Metal Gear games. Never got into them.
Get into them.
I think I don't know how you feel about stealth games. You know what I mean?
No, I like stealth games.
Yeah,
I just want it remastered now.
Harv, what if I told you
it should just be remastered at this point.
There's a really great device here where you can play a lot of those games in certain ways.
He doesn't have one yet.
I just got paid today, Mario. Okay, I just got paid today.
Just buy it. Just buy one right now.
Make a mistake, baby. Make a mistake. Do it right now.
I got bills to pay.
You can shuffle some bills around, you know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Scam PayPal.
Fair enough. Well, thank you, Frank, for telling us your history of Metal Gear.
Oh yeah. And Sly. You are the final one.
I know I cheated the assignment.
The final countdown.
I have to I have to talk about both of these games.
Okay.
So when we're looking at like my history with gaming, the like what stuck with me and what got its hooks into me. So I had a Game Boy Advance, but when I was like 6, I think I got a hand-me-down GameCube from my cousins, and with it I got Animal Crossing and Super Monkey Ball 2. And like I had played games before, right? But like I never really understood like what makes a game. And for me that was Super Monkey Ball 2 on the GameCube. That was the game where I was like, oh, I get it. Like the mechanics, like how this world is set up, the characters, everything about it, it just like got its hooks into me to the point where I was like,
I want to
Right.
ask. Okay, so Super
Yes.
Monkey Ball. This is the one where you have to get from point A to point B.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I
But
just want
it
to make
also
sure.
had like
I've
mini
never played it.
games.
Yeah, I've never played it before. So I was because like I was watching somebody speed run it,
Uh-huh.
and it was very interesting to watch.
So there's like a series of levels, and it's get from point A to point B, collect all the things. But it also had like mini games, like there was like billiards and like all these other things. And so it was very much I don't know if I've ever played the first one, but the second one definitely like embraced the arcade history of like the series, right? And
That's
that was like
that's GameCube, right? Super
Mhm.
Monkey Ball
Yeah,
2?
it was on
Okay,
the
okay.
GameCube.
Yeah.
And it was the first like game that made me think that like I was like I enjoyed playing games. I liked playing games. But when I think of like my gaming journey, like the game that made me say like this is a hobby, I am a gamer, hear me out. It was Minecraft, and not because of the game that Minecraft is, but because of the experience surrounding it, the community I built. Like, how much to out myself? There was a specific Minecraft YouTube community in the mid 2010s that I was a big fan
I was gonna
of
say you're a
that
huge
no
fan of
longer
Dream,
exists.
Dream,
No.
and Karl Jacobs.
No. Shout out to Karl. Oh
By the
man,
way,
I keep
we're-
forgetting that dude's famous,
Not
and
only
it
that,
weirds me out.
At the kind of funny like thing that they're doing right now, he dropped 1,000 stubs.
Subs, subs.
Fucking hell.
AMC stubs.
Incredible.
AFC subs.
I did have to. I keep finding out things about Karl that I never want to know, including the fact that in the top 100 ships on AO3, he appears
Oh.
not once but twice. And so I did have to make a site skin and block every iteration of anything related to Karl, so that I will never see it on AO3. I'm sorry, I can't read fanfic about people I know.
I drank alcohol with that guy.
I met him at Kind of Funny Live.
I have no
which
idea
one
what
was
you're
it?
talking
Kind
about.
of Funny Live 3.
3, and then I met him at prom.
Yeah. I think I met him at 3. We were at the trucks, right? The food trucks.
Yeah.
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 I met him in the bathroom of a Taco Bell.
You've never met this man.
But anyways, it like I played a lot of Minecraft throughout my high school experience, and it wasn't about the necessarily playing the game. It was about, getting on TeamSpeak, hanging out with people, making
fuck
like these
TeamSpeak.
lifelong friends. And like this was such a foundational part of like my high school experience, like my experience like growing up, the friends I made because of it. And it was really the catalyst as a game to me being like, oh, I like video games. I am a gamer. I am a fake gamer, but
You're a
like
gamer.
but like being like video games being a hobby and not just being a thing that I enjoy. And like I really hate that it's Minecraft that is this game for me because of
It's not
Minecraft.
a bad game to start with. Minecraft's
it's
a good
fine,
game. Anybody
but
who
it's
actually
not-
says unironically Minecraft's a bad game, you're an idiot. I'm sorry.
It cracks me up. The last I really like seriously played Minecraft, I'm pretty sure was 1.8.2. A couple of years ago in college, I had a friend group that all had like a Minecraft resurgence, and I hopped back in, and it was like 1.18 or something, and everything had changed. But yeah, just like I made so many friends. Like it was such a foundational part of my experience, just through like hopping on those public servers that would do like the mini games. You'd have like the Hunger Games style whatever, watching all of the oh god, what the fuck were they called? The series where people would do hardcore and it was like last person standing.
Oh, what, the
Battle
Battle
Royale?
Royales?
It kind of there was like a specific name or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on at the moment. But yeah, just like the whole experience of Minecraft as a community and not necessarily as like mechanics wise really was what hooked me and got me to, meeting you all and
Yeah.
knowing you all. Like Minecraft got me into games got me into kind of funny got me into this whole sphere that is our life, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. It's weird how that all kind of cascades into each other, right? Which is actually what's strangely eerie but also kind of cool is hearing your story about like why Minecraft was so big for you in terms of like the gaming ecosphere, right? And it reminds me of like very much the same upbringing of another game, right? Because same thing, right? With so one of my first like big like games I got into that was big multiplayer, online multiplayer, was Counter-Strike. And for the same reasons you're saying, we would go in. At the time we had shit like Xfire. Shout out to anybody who remembers Xfire, by the way. Then we had like, Ventrilo and obviously TeamSpeak and stuff like that. But going into these like these lobbies and just talking to people and building these friendships and going into these like modded servers from like Zmod and Gun Game and Surf and all that, and meeting just unique people and adding them to your friends list and like talking to them and stuff like that. It was fucking amazing. And with a game as like expansive as Minecraft and a game as like expansive as Counter-Strike was, we had very much similar upbringings in that respect because we did basically the same thing, just two different type of games, right? But that's totally fucking fascinating. That's crazy. But yeah,
and like
that's
the
nice.
amount of times where like I would get home from school, I would hop on TeamSpeak with a group of friends. We would pop into a server and it was about having like avatars and just chatting. Like
Yeah.
like we would like dick around in Minecraft and like we would play around and like play games and stuff. But it was more the interactive nature of being able to like walk up to somebody and be like, "Oh, hey, like what's going on?" Blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
It was cool because like the world lived on even when you weren't there. But it's almost as if you were walking into your second family in a way, where like you'd come in, they'd be like, "Hey, what's up, man?" You just kind of
100%.
eased yourself in instead of like online multiplayer games now. I mean, we have server browsers nowadays, but they're not as crazy as I feel like as they used to be. But just going into a server that was kind of your like everybody knew each other. It was fascinating. You just kind of go in, you just kind of eased your way into a conversation. It was very fascinating.
Where there would be like the big public servers that also had like a server within the server, and you would have like very specific, like, oh, we're all going to get into this server and then go to like section 42 or whatever, and then we all meet up there. Oh yeah, man, what a time.
What a fucking time.
What a time.
Sly's experience with Minecraft is like my experience with Final Fantasy 11, where I met so many people that I know now because of that community and how much time we spent together in that game.
What a time. What a time it is.
What a fucking time.
So much time into Minecraft. I remember I was probably, oh my gosh, like a sophomore maybe, and I put like 24 hours of in-game time into like a single server over the course of like a 3-day weekend or whatever. Like it was a time sink.
And there's so much in those servers too. I had a friend who told me that he managed a server and somebody accidentally deleted like 3 years worth of server progress on that server, and people were devastated. People were like just like they're like a family member died because it's like 3 years of work just gone.
It's like those SMPs, like, God, that was like our lives.
Yeah.
Like half of our life was in fabricating this world. Right?
No.
I mean, not that
Terrible.
long ago, I just saw there was an article. Someone created a whole galaxy
In Minecraft,
inside
yeah.
Minecraft, which is pretty freaking.
That's what I mean when people say Minecraft is a bad game or give people bit shit for playing Minecraft. What other game really does that? You can't really name it because other than No Man's Sky, but No Man's Sky, to be honest, everything just looks the same to me.
Minecraft can literally be it's not like a game, it's a platform, really. Like you can play any style of game, you can play any play style. You can fabricate it within a contained universe.
My brother's kids, the oldest one, is getting into Minecraft now.
Yeah.
I was telling them, I was like, there's gonna be stages. First, she was into Roblox, then it was Minecraft, and then give it about 5 more years, she's gonna get into Fortnite.
And
it's Final Fantasy 14.
And that's when I'm gonna destroy those noobs and just in Fortnite. All right, can't wait. Bring it in. Bring the new blood in.
That's the trajectory for the kids now. Roblox, Minecraft into Fortnite.
Yeah.
And that is probably going to be the end of this trajectory of this podcast. Thank you so much for being
Hell
here.
yeah.
What do you got to add? What do you got to add?
The acronym I was looking for earlier was UHC.
UHC? What does it stand for?
Yeah.
Ultimate Hydraulics.
Hardcore.
Oh, Ultimate Hardcore.
That
Okay.
sounds terrifying. But in the context of Minecraft, that's actually kind of cool.
That's so hardcore that they kick you out of the server after you die.
You're banned from Minecraft.
Yeah, it's like everybody jumps in. It's like a battle royale style, and once you die, you're out of there.
They charge you charge your credit card for 3 months of realms, and then you're fucked.
Oh man, what a game though. Minecraft, good on Minecraft.
Yeah,
never played it.
Never played it. You should try it. You should try it at least once in your lifetime.
Have you ever tried something that's not a Dark Souls?
Honestly, I think you would have a lot of fun with Minecraft. I think you could create. Honestly, Harv, I think you could create some cool shit in Minecraft.
What if we should create a whole world of just Dark Souls inside of Minecraft?
Dark Souls in Minecraft.
I can see you recreating a Bloodborne map or something like that.
I'm not creative.
No.
Yes, you are. You're creative.
Someone should create it for you, and then you just gotta explain.
Yeah, and then I'll play it. Yeah, then I'll play it.
That'd be dope as hell.
I live in Dark Souls. I'm just kidding. Is this Dark Souls? Am I in it right now?
My life is Dark Souls.
Why do I hear boss music?
Fucking bar shows up.
Why is the symphony starting?
Lord. That's right. You can make Bloodborne 2 in Minecraft because Bloodborne 2 will never exist. And
never ever Bloodborne 2.
Like that is the end of the episode. Again, I want to thank everyone in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. I want to thank my lovely panel of guests for showing off all their wonderful experiences in gaming and sharing all the things that they love. I'm going to go around the horn to basically introduce and say their last pieces here. Frank, where can people find you on the net? I don't even want to know what you smelled. What was that?
That was a Portillo's milkshake that's been sitting there for about 2 hours. You can find me at twitter.com/@thefrankgv. You can find me also at Instagram. It's not Snapchat. Do not actually at me at Snapchat. You can find me on Instagram, Twitch, and I'm forgetting something, and Twitter at @thefrankgv. I'll figure it out later. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh, TikTok. There we go. Add me at TikTok at @thefrankgv. I post Ticker Talkers. I put a lot of my cool clips on there, and I think they look kind of cool on a phone. So go check me out.
Man.
Oh, and point in progress too as well. I'm here with these lovely peoples. Not including Fee right now, but Fee's actually in the back over there somewhere. We're interrogating her. Something about frogs. I don't remember.
Oh,
Karen's taking care of it.
Karen over here is looking at me like, "Hey, Fee needs you," and I'm like, "Karen, shut up! All right, I'm doing a fucking podcast." Anyway,
shout out to Karen. Harv, where can people find you on the net?
You can find me at Beer in the Hair pretty much everywhere. Twitch, Twitter, YouTube.
Everywhere.
Yeah, those
TikTok.
places. Yeah. TikTok as well. Yeah. I've been throwing more TikToks up there, but more importantly, you can find me here on Point in Progress.
Fantastic. Slybrook, people find you on the net?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at SlyclinMC. If you want to add me on Snapchat, you can, I guess. I want to say a quick shout out to Lester in the chat for mentioning Gone Home, one of my favorite games.
Hell yeah.
Not super gay, but kind of gay, and I'm here for it. Love that story.
I had no idea what Gone Home is, but
saying?
Mario's reaction was everything to that.
The sister's gay.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, that game is super gay.
Yeah. Well, okay, she's not.
It's like 3/4 gay.
All right, we'll come back to this with next week's topic. How gay is
Gone Home? All right, fair enough.
It's pretty gay.
It's pretty gay.
We love to see it. Anyways, you can also find me on Thirsty Thursday, live every Thursday on TikTok, talking about all things 911. You can find me on Will Throw the After Party, live every Saturday on YouTube. But you can also catch the replay or check us out at After Party SHO on the socials. And you can find me on the one and only MC University with Mario. Anywhere you can find Point in Progress. It's a great time. I don't remember what the last episode we did was,
Spider-Man.
But it was great.
Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man with one of my co-hosts from Will Throw the After Party. It's a crossover episode.
Yeah.
We'd love to see it. So go check me out all the places. It's a fun time. And DM me if you want the FicRec spreadsheet.
Not put it in the description. Just DM Sly specifically.
Yeah, straight DMs only.
Fair enough. Well, you can find me, of course, over there at that Mario Rivera, where I'll be talking all day about Kind of Funny's new studio, because that was fun. Hideo Kojima introduced the video. That was fucking cool. But also...
Base
Kojima. He also is the Kind of Funny wrestling champion. That was also really funny.
Yeah.
And Cisco, too, is the other up-down champion. That was fucking incredible as well. But yes, of course, you can find me there at Twitters. You can also find me here at Point in Progress, Tech Raptor. You'll also find me also co-hosting my, MC University. The next episode is The Wolverine, which is a quick one, relatively. But yeah, we're going our way through the Marvel X-Men Fox universe. Is it wild and wacky? Yeah. So definitely experience that along with us.
Is the Wolverine in Japan? Is that what next afterwards?
That's what we did. That's the Wolverine.
Yeah. Okay.
We already did X-Men Origins, our Lord and Savior X-Men Origins Wolverine, and
God,
that was a doozy. That was a fun episode.
That's rough.
Yeah, so that's already, that was in season 1, baby. But yeah, continuing on our journey there, we got some episodes already in the can. They're fantastic, so please get ready, buckle up. I can't wait to get Frank to do his Venom episode. We're so close. So close.
I don't know.
And we have a lot of amazing guests lined up for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
So
you're lucky we're friends, because that's the only reason why I'm watching that fucking movie.
Yep, 100%.
Hey, I had to watch Fantastic Four. You could watch this one.
Oh God, I'd rather watch Fantastic Four, to be honest with you.
I don't know, man. Silver Surfer was rough.
Oh, I remember that movie. I remember the game for that movie.
We have Fan Forsyth coming up as well.
Yeah, we do. And I've never seen it, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, Lord. And that, of course, is going to bring us to the end of the episode. Again, thank you to everyone. It's been lovely to spend our little afternoon / midnight for all of us. So,
in what universe right now? Actually, yeah, in what time zone would it be even afternoon right now?
I mean, technically, it's always afternoon after afternoon.
True. Got me on that one.
Fucking got you on that one.
Fucking got him. Straight up layup. Uppercut straight to the jaw.
And with that, progress has been made.
Shout out to Deanne. Shout out to Deanne Criswell, 12th Administrator of FEMA.
Shout out to the actor that plays Haggard. He passed away today.
Oh, Robert Coltrane.
Oh, actually, fuck Diane Criswell. Shout out to the actor.
Fuck J.K. Rowling. Shout out to
also
Robbie
fuck
Coltrane.
J.K. Rowling. Yeah.
Fuck J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, so she today.